weekend has arrived in Lodo as the Rockies welcome in the San Francisco Giants. 3 more at home before the Rockies head back on the road. They split that 4-game set with the Padres, an impressive 2-1 victory yesterday afternoon. And good evening, everybody. Glad as always that you're along with us with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Good ball game yesterday. The Rockies win just the 16th 2-1 affair ever at Coors Field. Great pitching from Jordan Lyles. Kyle Kendrick pitched well on Wednesday, and now hopefully tonight is Eddie Butler's turn.
Well, it's amazing how when you do get good pitching, and Kyle Kendrick got it started against San Diego after losing 2 straight. They needed some length out of the rotation, and they got that with 7 innings by Kyle Kendrick. He gave up 4 runs. He utilized off-speed stuff, able to pinpoint that fastball. And yesterday, Jordan Lyles, I thought, really put a stop to things, and he showed a lot to me. Not too many walks, not a whole lot of strikeouts, but a lot of balls down on the ground. He utilized a high fastball in the zone after living in the bottom half of the zone. They want to turn that over to the youngster, Eddie Butler, tonight, as he takes on the San Francisco Giant team that he just faced a week ago. And for Eddie Butler, I hope you watch what Jordan Lyles and Kyle Kendrick did. They pounded the strike zone. They trusted their stuff. They stayed in the bottom half of the zone and eliminate the walks. He's walked 11 now in his starts. That's something he needs to eliminate. He doesn't give up a lot of hits, so he's able to control damage pretty well.
He made progress in his last outing in L.A. Obviously, the 6 walks came in San Francisco, only 1 in his last outing against the Dodgers. More on Eddie Butler in a few moments. We're going to go field side right now. Joining the broadcast throughout the evening will be our Ryan Spilborg. Spilly, Corey Dickerson, I don't know if you've been watching this. He's rather hot. Yeah, he plays left field. Yeah,
well, Walt's already said this guy will hit on Christmas morning, and we already know what type of hitter Corey Dickerson is. Other teams are taking notice. At home, Corey's one of the best hitters in baseball. He has a 1.092 OPS at home. That's best in all of baseball since his first call-up last year. But what's impressive to me, he's one of the only 5 hitters with 5+ homers. Watch how many guys shift Corey Dickerson. Nobody will shift him because he hits the ball the opposite way so well. He reminds me so much of Todd Helton. It's impressive to me because you're talking about a young power hitter that is willing to let the ball get deep, let it travel. He's only walked 4 times. I get that, but he's aggressive and he makes him pay.
Hey, Spilly, very quickly, you dealt with plantar fascia when you were playing. He missed a game and a half earlier in the week with plantar fascia. It seems like he's moving around okay. What should the concerns be moving forward with Corey?
Well, the concerns always are going to be if it changes his mechanics, if it changes or alters anything he does as far as how he plays the game, you have to rest it. But it's his left back foot. He's got it taped up. He's got an insole. It's basically his weight-bearing leg. So if he can sit back on it and still take that great swing, no problems for me.
All right, Spilly. He's out in left field right now, and getting ready to go is Gregor Blanco. Every game it's been Nori Aoki starting in the outfield and leading things off for Bruce Bochy. He's getting his first day off, or at least the initial part of it today. Blanco will be followed by a guy who's starting to heat up, Joe Panik. Angel Pagan will bat third. Buster Posey hitting over 400 in his career at Coors Field. Brandon Belt starting to swing it better. Justin Maxwell won the ball game for them yesterday against the Dodgers. Casey McGee, Brandon Crawford, and the sinker baller Chris Heston. And on the hill, Eddie Butler making his 4th start. Every time out, it's a chance to grow.
Oh, no question to grow. And I think we mentioned the walks, and there's too many. Obviously, 11 walks to go along with the number of hits per inning. But what he does do is control damage. He's been able to make the pitch that he needs to with runners in scoring position. 143 with 2 outs, just 111. That's how you control and have an earned run average of 2.25.
So stepping in will be Gregor Blanco. The Giants, keep in mind, about 5 days ago, everybody's going, what's wrong with the world champs? They've lost 8 in a row. They've won 4 of 5, including an impressive 3-game sweep with the Dodgers.
And as Bruce Bochy said, guess what? We didn't swing the bat well, but close games at the end of it, I'll take our chances, and they were able to do that to the Dodgers.
First pitch of the ball game outside at 93. And it's interesting that number should pop up because, George, that's about what he's averaging with his fastball. A little over 93, 93.3 to be exact.
Yeah, he can run it up higher than that at times. I've seen 95, 96 out of Eddie Butler, but he creates a lot of movement at the 92 to 94 mile an hour range.
And Frazier, to your point, in the biggest at bat of his last outing at Dodger Stadium, Adrian Gonzalez is up with the bases loaded, and all of a sudden he threw 2 straight pitches at 97 and got him to pop out.
Well, that's the big key. You add 3 to 4 miles an hour, and Ryan Spielborgs will tell you 3 to 4 is that much quicker on you, and more for you to try to adjust to.
Oh yeah, you got no shot if a pitcher, you're timed up for 93 miles an hour and he bumps up 4 miles on you, it changes your whole timing. It changes everything.
You know what, Spilly? You face Brad Penny a lot. Brad Penny would cruise along. He'd throw his fastball 90, 91. All of a sudden, any kind of traffic, here comes 96, 97. And Eddie Butler has that ability.
And that's what you want to see. I think the current player right now is Zach Greinke. He can jump up 2 miles an hour with 2 strikes.
Like that start, tailing 94-mile-an-hour heater, and he punches out Gregor Blanco.
But the ball started in the middle and ran away, and he got the swing and miss.
Let's take a look at the gloves for the Rockies tonight. Dickerson is in left field. Charlie Blackmon in center. Cargo back in right. He had most of yesterday off. Nolan is at third base. Daniel Descalso will start for Troy at short. Troy's just fine. It was a scheduled day off. DJ LeMahieu, Justin Morneau on the right side, and Nick Hundley doing the catching. Here is Joe Panik, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. John Tempane is the home plate umpire. John Hirschbeck at first is the crew chief. Bill Welke at second. James Hoy at third. And this is looped to left field, a base hit for Panik. And that's his first hit against the Rockies this year in that series that the Rockies swept the Giants at AT&T. Panik was 0 for 11.
Let's take a look at what Eddie Butler features in his repertoire. What he'll show you tonight: an awful lot of fastball, change, slider, about the same equal of use there. The curveball, his worst pitch. You won't see that very much in a ball game, more than just to show it to the hitter. And I think you will see a slight decrease in the fastball.
Will step up. Pagan 2 for 5 yesterday as the Giants defeated the Dodgers in 10 innings on the Maxwell base hit. And this is a towering pop-up. Descalso backpedaling, and he'll make the play. Giants, Spilly, back-to-back walk-offs. Always fun when you get to run out on the field and jump on a teammate, right?
Yeah, there's nothing better than jumping on your teammate, especially when you're winning a game. And the Giants won 2 walk-offs. The Rockies had one another day. So you got, what, 3 walk-off wins in the last 4 games? It's pretty good.
There's the Maxwell base hit down the left field line. So with 2 outs, here's Buster Posey.
I remember the first time I saw Buster Posey swing from the side. I was sitting with Chris Iannetta. He said, Spilly, whose right-handed swing do you want? And I saw this guy first at bat. I said, I want this guy's swing. It's perfect.
Good guy to pick out, huh?
Yeah, first at bat.
Well, he's backed it up. He's been an MVP. He was a Rookie of the Year. He had an extraordinary second half last year.
What was so impressive to me his rookie year, catching that pitching staff and having 1 pass ball all year.
That's amazing. Just missed. The swing pitch goes in favor of Posey, so it's 2-1. 2 outs, just underway. And that didn't miss by much as you look on the 4th strike zone. Eddie Butler working a Buster Posey.
It's called a catcher strike zone, Drew.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
This ball's well hit center field. Blackmon going back, and Charlie's going to make the catch. Posey gave it a ride. Somebody in the Giant dugout thought it was out, but it comes up about 5 feet short. After Eddie Butler had a successful first half inning, Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off. Comes in with a home run and 7 driven in. And then the hottest Rocky, Corey Dickerson, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. Dickerson will bat in that 2 spot. Nolan will slide up to the 3 hole. Morneau next. Nick Hundley's been swinging the bat well. Cargo will bat 6. DJ LeMahieu slides from the 8 or 9 spot to the 7 spot. Descalso in front of Eddie Butler. And the Rockies, George, are facing a guy with a super sinker. Chris Heston has been outstanding. He's been their best pitcher.
He has been their best pitcher. You see the overall numbers. The 0.87 earned run average jumps at you. Runners in scoring position. They've only hit 133 against him. So he's obviously, that's why he's got the low earned run average. The opponent average at 203 on the season. Not particularly one of those guys that all the stuff wows you. He just throws strikes and you look up and it's all of a sudden the outing wows you. He's into the 6th, 7th inning of a ball game.
You know, everything moves with Chris Heston. The guy spent a good deal of time in the minor leagues. He's a big time strike thrower. He hits the zone there. It's 0-1. One thing that'll be interesting to watch, Spilly, is that he'll use his curveball about 1 out of every 6 pitches or so. Will he still do that here? That has eyes into right field, a base hit for Blackmon.
Well, I think he's going to. I think if you have a pitch repertoire that you're comfortable throwing, you're going to have to still use it. You just set your sights lower. What's reminding me of Heston, he reminds me of Jake Westbrook. You remember that guy?
Sure.
Yeah, good
Original
example.
Rockies selection, yep.
Sinker, had the curveball, will throw the slider and a changeup, mixes it at any time. I think he's a 57% sinker ball pitcher, so you cannot just sit on the good sinker. He even looks, even his mechanics are similar to Jake Westbrook.
Yeah, his ground ball percentage so far this year is above 62%.
Now, I think I mentioned this before the game, but Corey Dickerson's one of the rare power hitters in the game that's a left-handed hitter. Typically, you're going to see shifts. Cargo has a shift. They do not shift for Corey Dickerson. It's because he can hit the ball opposite field so well and hard on the ground.
Yeah, I wonder
Boy, he got
also,
a pitch up there, George.
I wonder how often, too, that Bruce Bochy, such an old-school type manager, you know, he's not going to make a lot of shifts unless it's just obvious that he has to do that. I mean, Boch is more of keep the defense in their spot, don't try to open up holes, don't do a lot of different things.
But even other teams, Dodgers haven't done it, the Brewers haven't done it. None of the teams so far have shifted on Corey yet.
Well, the only place they need to shift lately is outside the fences.
In the bullpen.
Blackmon takes off early and he's cut down.
Spilly, I want to ask you real quick. I mean, I see base runners do this all the time.
Yeah.
Scouting report tell you that it's a 1 look, he's going to the plate.
It's going to be
no look. I mean, why would Charlie go there?
Because Charlie spends more time than anybody watching what he does. He probably had a count. He probably had a 2-second count in his mind. 1, 2, go, and probably Buster told him to hold it.
So it's a caught stealing 1-6.
Second time this year for Charlie. He had 2 stolen bases coming in.
And this is on the ground to Crawford. 2 outs. Here's the Giants with the leather in the outfield. Angel Pagan is in the middle of Gregor Blanco and Justin Maxwell. Casey McGee was not healthy when the Rockies were in San Francisco. He's still not 100%. He's got a hip ailment. Brandon Crawford, Joe Panik up the middle, Brandon Belt, and Buster Posey round out the infield. 2 gone, nobody on, and here's Nolan Arenado batting .340 with 3 home runs and 11 driven in. And that's lined into the seats foul. I still marvel every night at what Nolan does, but I go back to Wednesday, a game the Rockies snapped their 5-game losing streak with the walk-off hit by Descalso, and if not for the defense of Arenado that day, the Rockies would have been in no position to win that baseball game. No scores. We go to inning number 2. Rockies and Giants.
It's the 20th anniversary of this place opening up back in 1995 this coming Sunday. So all weekend long, use the hashtag Toyota Talk. It's Fan Friday. We want your memories from 95, your photos from 95. We'll get those on the air. And I'm going to start with an Instagram and a Twitter pic that I took earlier today about Coors Field. We'll show it to you after this pitch. That's down in the ball. This came through from earlier today. And there's the pic that I took from outside the stadium when you walk into center field. So use the hashtag Toyota Talk, everybody, tonight.
Wow, Ansel Adams.
Yeah. Not close, Billy.
He's working on it, though.
Keep working, bud.
Give him time, Billy. 2-0 on Brandon Belt. Shift is on for Belt, and that misses outside. 3-0. Belt, like so many of the Giants, was mired in a big slump at the start of the season. 2 for his first 26. He's 5 for his last 13. A lot of the Giants starting to swing it better.
But he
correlates with 4 straight victories.
Well, he also got hurt. He was chasing the ball down the first base line and stretched a groin pretty good and was out for a while. And I think coming back as a hitter, when you have that in your mind, Spilly, I got to believe that isn't easy to try to go up and swing the bat like you normally would and try to recover. He didn't go on the disabled list, but it was a strained groin.
Well, of course. And we were talking with Krupp and Kite before the game, and they were saying how he was taking good takes. And as a hitter, it sounds funny. You took the ball well. It makes a big difference. You have a confidence when you see the ball and you take a good take like that.
So walk to Brandon Belt leading off the second inning. That'll bring up another guy who's swinging it well, and Justin Maxwell.
Maxwell, to me, and I watched him a lot when he was in Double-A, and then I watched him more in Triple-A, and then when he got to the big leagues. Always had difficulty, and we talked about this, and Kruko talked about it a little bit too, Spilly, that ball away from him. He was a good pull hitter, but the breaking ball, the fastball away, had difficult handling the pitch.
Well, he's a big boy, 6'4". You would expect him to be able to handle the pitch away and not the pitch in, but that's just been his long, kind of an arm bar. And now he's been nice and tight and close to his body. Now he can reach the inside pitch, hit the ball opposite field as well.
He wasn't guaranteed a spot on this Giant roster when they picked him up from the Royals in the offseason. And he went out and earned it in March. And Bruce Bochy was saying before the ball game today that he's starting today. He's going to start the next 2 because the Rockies have lefties going, and De La Rosa and Matzik. And he said it's not just for that reason. He said he's earned his playing time because he's played very well on both sides of the ball.
Well, it didn't hurt. He got that opportunity too. It's Pence being hurt. They were looking for a guy to go to right field and do damage, and he did it.
And Hunter Pence starting to do some baseball activities. He hit the cage at Coors Field today. This ball's crushed to left center.
First home run of the year, though, for Maxwell. But I'm telling you, when you can get to a pitch this way on the inner half of the plate, the way he turned on this, you always see left-handers. You hear them say, drop the head on him. Well, this guy just dropped the head of the bat on this sinker out of the hand coming in from Eddie Butler. And watch this front side open and clear out of the way so he could get everything through on that. That's pretty picturesque swing, Ryan Spilborghs.
I've never had a swing that nice, and that ball got out in a hurry. 6'5". That's like Giancarlo Stanton.
Well, a few years ago with Houston, he had 18 home runs. He's never hit for much of an average. He had 229 that year, but he's a big, strong young man. Told his story a little bit when we were in San Francisco. He got into Harvard out of high school, but he wanted to play baseball in the ACC, so he stayed close to home and played at Maryland. That was the same issue you had, whether he was going to be Harvard or UCSB, wasn't it, Spilly?
Yeah, and I just turned down Harvard just because I didn't feel like I'd get a chance to play my first year.
I did because I didn't have a blue blazer. I had a red one, but not blue.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Casey McGee. Spilly, you're good, buddy.
Well, he turned it on in Japan 2 years ago. Really resurrected his career. We've played against each other in winter ball, through the minor leagues. He came up with the Cubs, never really got a shot. Gets over to Milwaukee. You remember the time he came in here 9 for 9, getting 9 straight hits? Do you remember that?
I remember that. I'll tell you what else I remember. Last year, the Rockies were down in Miami to open the season. And I was kidding him today. He hit like 6,000. Remember that series?
5
George?
RBIs in the series. It was crazy what he did.
He's just a quality at bat. He grinds everything out. That's all he is. He's a grinder.
And Eddie knocks it down. McGee does not run well. 1 out. No, we talk about the walks, and with Eddie, he's now allowed 12 walks. Maxwell hits 1 out. Fine. It should have been a solo home run, unless Bell earned his way on. But that's the point. He didn't earn his way on. And now it's a 2-0 deficit. Brandon Crawford with 1 out.
But you got to recover from that, and that's what separates guys in the big leagues and minor leagues, is being able to recover from that. And I think the one thing, and Ryan and I talked about this before the game, as a pitcher, you're in Double-A, you throw the sinker off the plate, guys swing at it. You throw it in a little bit, it's off the plate, they swing at it. You get to the big leagues, hitters define that strike zone, and they know where they can hit it. And if they recognize fastball out of the hand and it's away from them, they're not going to swing at it.
Right.
They're going to make you pitch.
The fish ain't biting.
One ball, 1 strike on Brandon Crawford.
Well, and major league hitters, they want to see you be able to command the strike zone with the fastball. If you can't do it, we'll just wait you out. We'll wait you out until you miss in the middle of the park.
Well, let me ask you a question. How many times in warm-ups you're sitting in the on-deck circle and you're the next guy up, start an inning off, or you're leading the game off? Did you sit and watch a pitcher and see if he could control his secondary stuff? Can he throw the slider for a strike? Yeah, he hadn't yet in warm-ups. I know he only threw 4, but they're all over the place. I'm going to eliminate that till he shows it to me.
I agree with you, but there's also times where a guy will spike every pitch and then paint you.
Well, those are guys are named Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. They just set you up.
George, along that same theme, as DJ throws out Crawford, Heston will come up. I know the answer for you, but how many pitchers, when they're throwing their 6 or 8 between innings, are really focused, and how many are just getting their arm loose to get ready to go?
The really good ones, the Hall of Famers, can make that adjustment. They might do that. But the younger guys, those 6 or 8 are very important for me. And the only reason I say that is because you may not have a slider in the first 2 innings. Maybe you're overamped and you're off to the side of it. You go inside and you let the air out, you come out second inning, all of a sudden I got my slider back, but you find it in those 8 warm-up pitches. And I learned that lesson from a pretty good catcher named Johnny Bench when I was very, very young at the big league level. You know, as far as how to warm guys up, work guys, and do things. And I think it's important for catchers to work both sides of the plate when they're warming up a guy.
1-1 on Heston, who's a pretty good athlete. Out of East Carolina, Seminole Junior College in Florida. Drafted 3 different times before he finally signed with the Giants as a 12th round selection. Bruce Bochy really likes his makeup, says there's no panic to him.
Georgie, going back to your warm-up pitches, you talking about that reminded me of Bronson Arroyo. And what was funny about him, his very last pitch before he'd go out onto the field, or the last before the inning started, was the slowest ball he'd ever seen thrown. He would lob it in there.
But you're also talking about guys that really have great command and repeat that arm slot. They're pretty good at it.
Justin Maxwell, a 2-run home run. Giants in the middle of the second, up by 2. Toyota stores, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Semi-overcast night in Denver. Pretty shot from City Park Golf Course. Giants got a 2-run home run from Justin Maxwell. Rockies have won 2 in a row after taking the Padres down Wednesday and Thursday. Justin Morneau against Chris Heston, who threw 6 pitches in the first inning, and all 6 were strikes. So that's the first pitch he's thrown that's out of the zone.
Early on in his young big league career, he has the opposition first time through the lineup $125. Then they see him that second time through 280, and I think it's just a matter of falling into patterns, not being able to make pitches when you're behind in counts. And there, to me, that's the big separator for guys that don't throw in the mid-90s, is when you do fall behind, as you have on a guy like Justin Morneau, you throw the changeup or you throw the slow curveball to get a rollover out, and you have confidence to do that.
That's line down the left field line, and it is a fair ball. Morneau headed to second. He'll have a stand-up double to begin the second inning. He's been doing it a long time, Spilly. He can flat rake.
Well, what I like right here, it's a 2-1 pitch. This is a chance for you to jump on a fastball, and he gets a pitch out over the plate, and he doesn't try to do too much with it. Look, the sinker's running away from him. He's going to take it opposite field. That's a quality at bat. You got to love it when your big hitter gets in those counts and isn't trying to do anything more than hit the ball.
As a pitcher, the biggest thing you are wanting to do is to get quick and try to jump all over it, because on that sinker away, it's usually going to hit a ground ball to second.
So Nick Hundley will take his turn batting in the 5 spot tonight, and Hundley takes high ball 1. Hundley's been impressive with the bat in the early going, and we've seen glimpses. You played against him, Spilly, for a long time. You see glimpses where he can really swing it. He's got some pop, and I know Walt Weiss and Blake Doyle felt that there's a lot more there offensively than perhaps what he's got thus far in his career.
Well, Andy's not playing in Petco Park. I think it's hard to tell what type of hitter you are when you've played most of your games at the Grand Canyon. You can't hit there. So most hitters that come to Colorado, you can sign a free agent to hit here because you can hit at altitude. He's always had a quality approach. He grinds. He works well with the pitchers. Of course this guy's going to hit here.
Here's the 1-1. And this ball toward the opposite field gap. Touchdown and run. Morneau around third. He'll walk home. And Hundley eyeing the baseball will shut it down at second. Back-to-back doubles. And the Rockies are on the board.
Yeah, 7 pitches later, it's 2-1 ball game, and that's what happens to a lot of young pitchers. They come in here. Morneau with a very good at bat, and Nick did a very good job with this pitch that he got to hit into right center field. I mean, you know, some guys say, well, he took it off field. This pitch is away from him, and then it slides back to the middle, and it became real hittable. When it's at belt high and out over the plate, major league hitters are going to hurt you, and that's exactly what Nick Hundley did. And, you know, we were talking about Hundley, and here's the thing about it. They signed him to make this pitching staff better, and he has made it better.
Hundley was hitting .359 against right-handed pitchers before that swing. Cargo takes away. Spilly, Cargo obviously struggling. 1 for his last 22, 4 for his last 40. Couldn't have swung it any better in the opening series on the road in Milwaukee. What are you seeing?
You know what? Everything is identical. His timing is right. His swing is right. It's just he's in that in-between gray area where it's so hard to decide. Am I going to go and swing at the fastball? Am I being aggressive? You can see this is him early in the year on the right, and this is him 2 nights ago. The timing is identical. There's nothing wrong with his swing. It's when the ball is coming to him, he's in between. So I'm not sure if I'm swinging at the fastball on the right. He's determined, yes, I'm going to swing. You can already see his swing starting a second earlier. On the other side, he's a hair behind it. So to me, it's more mental than actual physical.
Ian Tulo came out today. I got here about 1:45, and Ian Tulo took an awful lot of extra batting practice and worked, and he specifically worked on trying to take the ball to the opposite field. So in other words, just staying back longer, and really worked on it. He'd gotten so pull happy, cheating on the fastballs, rolling over so many things to the right side.
That ball pulled down the line, fouls. He'll have to get a new
well, Drew and I like to joke.
lumber.
Drew and I like to joke about it, Ryan. You know what? You said something downstairs at the lunchroom tonight. Just look on the back of the bubble bound card. It'll tell you what will happen when you get to September.
Yeah,
and a lot of people want to panic. Go, he's hitting 150. The knee, the hand. What's wrong with him? Nothing's wrong with him. It'll be fine.
But George, you and I both know that results are tied to your confidence. You see your batting average and you're hitting 175, you're hitting the ball hard, it's right at hitters, right at pitchers, right at infielders. That 175 drives you bonkers when you know a couple of these balls fall. I'm hitting 270 and no one's even saying a word right now.
You know, it's funny you say all that. After this pitch, I'll tell you a funny story. My son, Matt, who's now 35 years old, but when he was, 7, 8 years old, I'd had a rough start to the season one year, and he said, "Hey, Dad, your ERA is 8. Can you do something about it?" And it kind of lit a little fire under me a little bit.
Of course.
So now, when the kids go, "Hey, Dad, you're hitting 175. Can you pick it up a little bit?"
And this is bounced to the right side. That'll move the tying run to third with 1 out. So a productive at bat. Cargo took that 2-2 pitch to his borderline. Looked like it could have been called strike 3 also. 2-1 is the score, and DJ LeMahieu will have a chance to drive in another run. Who wants tacos? If the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. The big RBI guy's up. DJ LeMahieu. He's got 10 already. Primarily hitting out of the bottom of the lineup, sometimes hitting 9. Infield comes in halfway. And doesn't matter because that smoke to left field. DJ just keeps on rolling. 2-2 ball game. How valuable has he been with the bat this year?
The biggest thing for me is when he gets how many base hits he does with 2 outs, working at the bottom of the order. Last year he led all 8-hole hitters in RBIs, 38 on the year for that. And it's just another big at bat, trying to throw the slider. That's the second slider that Hessen has thrown in this ball game that's backed up. Nick Hundley hit it into right center field. DJ LeMahieu drops this into left field, and a lot of times pitchers get around that slider, and boy, it's flat and it hangs, and it's fun to hit.
DJ this year 7 for 11 against the vaunted Giant pitching staff. Here's Descalso. Had to feel good for him the other night, fellas, when he drove that ball to left center field on Wednesday night to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. New team, an opportunity, finally comes up where you can make your mark and feel like you're contributing. I don't care what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter. You want to feel it with a new club.
Well, I think that's the key. It's like a young kid coming up. The other day, Oberg got a big strikeout yesterday after giving up 3 home runs in L.A. The teammates swing back the other way. Your confidence grows. And same thing for Danny. Daniel all of a sudden get that base hit to drive in the winning run. It's fun having all those new teammates jump on top of you, congratulating you.
Runner going, and Descalso chopped it foul. It was a hit and run. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'll tell you what, one of the most enjoyable things about sitting down in this little camera well is after Cargo's at bat, everyone knows he's been struggling, but that entire team, the entire clubhouse came up, greeted him, thanked him, because that was a huge at bat, moving the runner over to third. It gave DJ the opportunity to get that RBI in. So when you talk about Descalso feeling part of the team, feeling like you're helping the team even though you're hitting 167, Cargo feels like he's doing things to help this team win, even though his stats right now say he's hitting 172.
Good pickup by Posey. Drew Stubbs was quoted after the game yesterday, and we all know Drew's really struggled so far this year, and he said, as tough as it is, it's easier to handle when we win.
Oh, no question it is. I mean, when your teammates, you know you're going to pull out of it, but sooner or later, you're not going to go for 150. You're going to start to pull out of it. You're going to start to swing the bat better. You're going to start throwing the ball better. What can I do to help my team otherwise? Is it a play in center field for Drew Stubbs? Is it a stolen base, maybe get scoring position after a walk? I mean, there's a number of things you could still do.
2-2 on Descalso, 1 out, 2 runs in. DJ at first. And the strikeout of Descalso. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Eddie Butler. First strikeout for Heston, who averages about 7 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. In his first 3 starts, he's gone just about 7 innings. He's 1 out shy of averaging right at 7 innings. Rockies have won 4 straight against the Giants going back to last September. Walt Weiss's team 9-7 in the very competitive NL West. Brandon Belt's going to grab this in foul territory. That'll close the book on the Rockies in the second, but a good inning. Morneau and Huntley back-to-back doubles, and then DJ LeMay do a single to tie up the game. So it's 2-2 as we go to the third at Coors Field on a Friday night.
We're going to run this all weekend long because of the 20th anniversary of Coors Field. Just hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk. Here's one from Justin and his 1995 memory and Rockies and Coors Field memory, getting a batting helmet from Troy Tulowitzki. I've got a favorite memory from 2009, August 24th, when one Ryan Spilborghs against the Giants went yard with this slam. A walk-off slam. We can't get enough of Spilly and Jim Tracy as he comes around third and hits home plate. Spilly, I know when did your belt come off?
Right there.
What did you do? How did that happen?
Because I was yelling for the Giants to get off my field.
That wasn't the exact quote, though, was it?
Nah, there was some explicit language in there, but this is a family show, and you know, speaking of family, my family's watching me in Santa Barbara. Hey, everybody.
This ball's well hit left center field. Long run Dickerson. He's not going to get there. It's extra bases for Gregor Blanco. He'll stop at second with a leadoff double here in the third. Sinker up, George?
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, that's what I'm talking about. You get to this level, mistakes get hit, and they get hit hard. You know, where you might get AA, AAA, this type of a sinker gets popped up. You can see when a sinker is up, it runs flat on the plane of the swing of a hitter. When it's down, it's going, and as the swing comes over the baseball, you're catching the top half of the baseball. You're not able to square it up.
Now, not to get overly technical, release point too high. I mean, he's not getting over the front side of his body.
Well, we can't get this full body on camera right now, but a lot of that is your release point in the hand position of the baseball. And I think that's where you have to be in a position when you throw the sinker. And again, guys do it all the time. Listen, wherever your front side goes, the other's going to follow. Dickerson's got a chance. Nice play right here by Corey in foul territory for the first out. But you know, it's easy. It's easier said than done. But when you're throwing your sinker, your hand position has to be behind the ball. And if you get a little quick with your front side and you happen to pull off the ball, all of a sudden the hand gets flat. It gets outside the baseball. And when that happens, that's when you get a little flat run to the baseball. When you keep your hand behind the ball and you're driving that sinker, it's natural it's going to turn in. And when it does, that's when you get the hard dive.
So it has a lot to do with this front shoulder?
This is going to lead a lot of where this goes.
Front side, you always say, right?
Big time firm front side guy. And the other side, that's just my own opinion. You know, a lot of times if the front side glove whips out on you, the shoulder's going to follow it. Everything's going to work flat.
For a guy with plantar fascia, Spilly, he looked pretty good running there. That's a base hit to the middle. Now see if Charlie has a play on Blanco. Throw to the plate is not going to get it. Blanco had to wait to see that line drive through. Joe Panik gives the Giants the lead again, 3-2. Panik's 2 for 2.
5th RBI for Joe Panik too. And again, this is where the defense was set up the way it was. Look and see where they had shifted. The shortstop Descalso was over behind second base, and he just split the wicket. Charlie got to the ball in a hurry, throws on line, just not in time. See it on the Subaru slow-mo right here that when he came across there, Blanco, that throw just about a step and a half behind a chance to get him.
Let me correct that. I said Panik. That was Pagan. Panik flew out.
Spilly, I've watched Pagan do this for a long time, and you're sitting right down there, and you were a base stealer.
Yeah.
Watch how he sets up when he gets. Why does he lean so hard to second?
Because he's been taught that way, that your explosive first step starts off that right leg. So he's going to put weight on it. You see sprinters do it. Put your weight on that front leg so you don't get a little extra, kind of like the false step.
But as a catcher or a pitcher, I'm looking over there, and I see any kind of movement where the weight even shifts farther on the right leg. It's pretty easy to pick him off.
You would think so, but if you're an athlete, I think Scott Podsednik was the guy that taught it to me. It was pretty hard to pick us off unless we're moving.
This ball deep right center field. Charlie gets over there. Great jump, and they have a chance to double up. And did they get him? Yep, they doubled up Pagan, who was already around second. Got a bad read. Great throw from the Rockies center fielder Charlie Blackmon, who had to air out a couple in that inning. 8-3 on the putout. In the inning, the Giants take a 3-2 lead on the base hit by Pagan. Field over the weekend. The Coors Light Cold Hard facts are brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. 20th anniversary of Coors Field coming up on Sunday. That first pitch to Charlie's in there for a strike. It was the first new National League ballpark when it was opened in '95 since Stade Olympique in Montreal back in 1977. This ball's well hit to center field. Pagan going back, and guess what? No play for him. We have another tie ball game. Charlie Blackmon just hit one about 420 on a line.
How sweet is that? Make a play like that to end the inning, tag it on up, and then now come out and hit your second home run. Fly it big time.
Have a nice little frame, Spilly.
Yeah. That's usually how it works. Every time you finish the inning off defensively with the great play, you usually lead off the inning. Charlie jumping on this fastball right here, out over the plate, backed up, and then he just drilled it. Drove it dead center. I love how his head is not moving. You can see that.
It has everything to do with the numbers, Billy. That's all it is. It has everything to do with the number.
Yep. Marco Scudero was a great player for the Rockies.
Number 19.
I thought they retired 19 after Scudero left.
No, they saved it for Charlie.
Interesting. 3-3 on Blackmon's second home run of the year. Dickerson at the plate. He takes outside ball one. Corey, 3 home runs over his last 2 games. And there's another base hit for Dickerson. I love Walt's line, Spilly, and you repeated it earlier in the show.
So
that,
funny.
Yeah, he said he could hit Christmas morning. Well, if you can hit, why shouldn't you be able to hit Christmas morning, right?
Well, it's because you're not doing anything Christmas morning. Most guys haven't even started swinging the bat, so that's the point. Most major leaguers haven't faced live pitching. If Christmas morning came and there was a major league game, Corey Dickerson would be able to roll out of bed and get a hit.
See, I got a feeling his wife's probably soft tossing him in the living room every day, all winter long.
That was a nasty slider. Arenado missed it. As my partner used to say a while back, he couldn't hit that with a boat paddle.
Now, that one there, that's what you call going to the plate thinking, I'm getting a fastball first pitch and I'm jumping and swinging. And all of a sudden, they threw a little Houdini on him away from it.
Nobody out. Dickerson at first. Well, one thing that's different in this ball game already than what we witnessed when the Rockies faced Heston at AT&T. He got a great number of ground balls in that ball game. Tonight, the Rockies are getting that ball elevated, and they're making him pay.
Well, yeah, he's getting the ball up in the zone. I mean, this is, again, a young kid coming in here for the first time at altitude. And because of his arm slot, he's out wide away from the baseball. He's getting out to the side of that slider instead of staying on top of it. Yeah, that's a good hard sinker on the inside part of the plate. May 4th is Purple Monday. Wear purple and win prizes. First 5,000 will receive a Purple Monday Tulo t-shirt. That's all coming up May 4th. Spilly, make sure we're one of the first 5,000. You pick mine up for me. If you get here, if I get here earlier, I'll pick yours up.
Yeah, we're gonna be here first. The first one's here. We clean the field when it's done.
First here, last to leave. Right?
That's right. That's what you should.
Good job of wasting that 0-2 pitch. Nolan Arenado, you want to talk about impressive, because Nolan hit 18 home runs last year. He's going to be a 20-plus home run guy. He doesn't punch out, Spilly. Just 3 strikeouts so far this year.
Oh, no, kiss of death. But what I do like is the fact that he is grinding those at-bats. He's swinging a first pitch that he didn't like, and right now he's just battling. That's what I love about this guy. He does not care.
He's battling to get it back to the hitter's count.
Exactly.
You know what? 2 years ago, he probably chases that ball out of the zone, but when you're only striking out once every almost 20 at-bats, crazy.
With the exception of Beltre, because Beltre was a big-time power hitter. Inciarte, Andrelton Simmons, Alcides Escobar, those are guys that don't hit it over the wall.
You're saying they're punching Judies.
I didn't say that, but Arenado hits it over the wall. Beltre obviously hits it over the wall. Buster Posey, 1 out.
But going back to Nolan and that strikeout rate that he doesn't strike out, this isn't something new that he just all of a sudden I get to the big leagues, I'm not going to strike. He did this all through the minor leagues. He was never a guy that was going to strike out for a high rate. Never a guy that's going to walk for a very high rate. He's going to put the ball in play. He's going to grind. That's why you got to love him when he's hitting that 3-hole right now.
Morneau got the rally going last inning with a line double down the left field line. Dickerson at first, draws a throw. 3-3 game. Giants got 2 in the top of the second. The Rockies came right back with 2 in the bottom half of the inning. The Giants scored the top of the third. Blackman has tied it up here in the bottom of the third.
I want to ask Ryan real quick, because you've dealt with the foot injury that Corey's dealing with. Is it more, does it bother you more from a stationary start or when you're actually running?
Stationary, and then right when you take off, you can feel it bite. Anytime you're just putting weight on it, it just bites on you. It feels like you have like a nail stuck. You got a nail stuck in your tire. That's basically what it is. Right now, Corey has a nail in his tire.
That's line to center field. Good job going down and getting that. Hey, by the way, Spilly, I was watching Nick Hundley in the on-deck circle, and one of your good friends in the game, who's now retired, he just went Giambi on us. He took his first 4 practice swings left-handed. Yeah.
Oh, man. There was nothing better than watching Giambi get up on the on-deck circle, pinch hit situation. Here he comes. He walks up, and he starts swinging on deck right-handed. You're like, oh, great. We're going to throw Giambi at you right-handed.
I mean, that was his thing. You know, everybody has their idiosyncrasies and their superstitions. He would always take his last hack before he walked to the plate right-handed.
He had a lot. That guy had a lot of them.
Nick unloaded a double to drive in Morneau in the second inning, and he takes a strike. 2 on for Hundley.
Giambi had that stinky blue elbow pad that he had since like Long Beach State. Rockies don't even have blue in their uniform.
He was a beaut, wasn't he?
He's the best. Oh, God.
Look out. Spilly, you got a helmet on?
I might need one now.
I want a replay.
Yeah, I was right.
Just duck behind Bo.
Yeah, I was like, Bo's going to wear it. I think they're okay. They gave the thumbs up.
Hey, Bo will never get lost in a snowstorm. That is a bright red Bo's got on tonight, huh?
Bo's the best. He's trying to get me to play tennis with him.
Bo's a good tennis player now. 0-2 on Hundley. 1 out, 2 on in a 3-3 ball game here in the third at Coors Field. First of 3, Rockies and Giants. And Heston strikes out Hundley. That's the second strikeout for the 27-year-old rookie. Cargo will get another opportunity against Heston. He worked the count to 3-2. With Hundley at second, he was able to get the ball on the ground to the right side and move Nick to third. DJ LeMahieu cashed him in. 2 outs, 2 on for Gonzalez.
Well, what I'm interested in seeing in this situation, his last at bat when he had the runner at second, nobody out, he was trying to pull the ball, try to get the runner over. Right now he's got first and second, 2 outs. He can let the ball get deep, do what he worked on during early work, which was trying to hit the ball in the middle of the field and not have the pressure of trying to pull the ball over.
High fly ball down the left field line. That's going to get into the seats, foul. And that's even though that's a foul ball, that was an example of what you're talking about, wasn't it?
Yes, because the last at bat was a team at bat. He had to hit for his teammates. I have to move him over. I'm going to have to pull the ball. Right now you're still playing for your teammates, but now he can go back to the approach. Let me let the ball get a little bit deeper. Let me try to hit it hard up the middle. Let me not try to pull the baseball. This is a much more cargo at bat right here.
1-1. So Heston got him out front again. Charlie Blackmon ties up the game with a home run to dead central. 3-3 as we go to the fourth, the 20th and Blake.
Fan Friday. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk all weekend long. We celebrate Coors Field's 20th anniversary, and we did get a question about a favorite home run. It's from Tomcat NASCAR. His was Giambi's walk-off against the Red Sox. Let's go back to June 24th, 2010. Career home run number 412 for the Giambino off of Papelbon. I will never forget it. We were in center field waiting for the postgame to come up. And with one swing, the big 2-3 got it done. He hit it a long way. He ended up with 440 home runs in his career. He hit 22 guys as a Rocky. Spilly, how many did you hit as a Rocky?
I have no idea.
42, you're top 20, you're number 20. Because Blackman just hit his 30th, and he joined the top 30.
So I'll be 21 pretty soon. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, probably. But you're in the top 20 right now.
No, not for long.
How about Giambi, though?
Did you see that blue elbow pad I was telling you about? The thing smelled awful.
All right, listen, in the interest of full disclosure, Spilly, how many times did you wear the golden thong?
One time. I was one of the few major league players never to get a hit with it on.
Well, Belt just got a hit in the vacated portion of the left side of the infield defense. The Rockies had the shift on, and Belt drives a single to left field. So he's aboard here in the fourth in front of Justin Maxwell. Who had the best record with the thong?
Wow. I know Jeter was pretty good with it. I know Jeter wore it many, many times in New York.
More information for the ladies, huh?
He's got it all.
Maxwell hit a 2-run home run to deep left center his first time up. Pitch called a strike. He had been a little south of the knees.
He's 6'1". He's 6'5".
Boy, Maxwell's hot, George.
Well, you know what? I'm watching him, and again, I watched him a lot at a younger age. And this is not to take anything away from him. Both pitches he's hit have been sliders. And they've been flat and they've been out over the plate. And Spilly knows what I'm talking about when you say slider bat speed.
Yep.
You know, if you're slowing it down, and this is nothing against Maxwell. This guy can hit. I mean, I watched him. He hit a lot of home runs. You said what he did in Houston one year. Is that you know you got to be really careful and make him aware. I think personally of the sinker in. You know, and if you're going to throw the slider, well, you really got to stay on top of it and make sure you're taking it to that outer half of the plate. Because with his long arms, if it stays flat, he can get 2 or 3 inches off the plate.
Well, let's see how he works here. He's got a traffic jam. First and second, nobody out. Double play candidate Casey McGee.
Well, he's done a really good job with it so far this year, of being able to control that traffic.
I think he's working, George, with better tempo than we've seen. And I really believe the game in L.A., even though it was a loss, was a growth moment for him.
Well, it was. I'm sure it was. You know, in 5+ innings, got out of a big bases loaded jam. Adrian Gonzalez, I mean, big guy at the plate. Listen, every single start, every year you're in the big leagues, you continue to grow. I mean, I know 10 years later I was continuing to grow, to learn something different. A grip that Steve Carlton showed me on a slider that was different than one I'd thrown the previous 9 years. You learn things as you go forward. The minute you think you've got it all figured out as a player, you're in trouble.
1-1 on McGee. Belt at second, Maxwell at first. Outside. McGee looking down at Roberto Kelly. Roberto was looking in the dugout to get whatever was on or not on from Bruce Bochy. There's Roberto Kelly. Took over for Tim Flannery this year at third base. Flan now doing some television work for the Giants. Pulled to third. Nolan comes up with it, runs to the bag, gets a force. Double play! Are you kidding me? Unbelievable! Now who makes that play?
Nobody.
Nolan Arenado.
And he's in on the list. I thought, okay, he makes a great stop. He'll get the out at third. He turned into a double play.
Sean Dunson is their replay coordinator coach. Look at this, my goodness. Across the bag, beats him there, guy with decent speed, then fires it to first base for the double play.
My friend, I'm standing right over here. Casey McGee looks right over here and he goes, "Are you kidding me?"
He's pretty good.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can't overstate how freaky good that kid is at third base.
Right there, how many runs he saves you every year. They're going to walk around for this. They should. I mean, I'd like to go back and see that. Well, they've got runs saved and all those kind of things that he does. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Here's another look at this play.
He thinks it's a double, George.
One hopper, you backhand the baseball, you get on top of it, you fired a perfect strike over to first base. And funny story, when Nolan was high school, he was a shortstop. He didn't play third base. People are trying to think, all right, he's too chunky to play short. Where's he going to play? There are a number of guys. They've tried some teams. Don Welke was at that time working for another organization, and Don said, let's work him out behind the plate, see if he can catch. Some people thought of that with him, and obviously those people weren't right. But he's a pretty good third baseman too, and they moved him over there. The thing about it, you know what? He just gets good at it because he works at it. When he takes ground balls, and I had a scout yesterday with the Minnesota Twins tell me, okay, it's a day to rest. He's got an ankle injury, he can't play. You know, or, excuse me, a hand injury in his wrist. He's going to have a day off. Well, instead of laying up in the locker room, getting treatment the whole time, he didn't take batting practice because of bad wrist. He came out and caught ground balls like this. He made plays like that for 3 groups of hitting. 45 minutes of it.
I had the pleasure yesterday of listening to the Rockies broadcast and the Padres broadcast, and Ted Leitner was like, "Don't hit it over to that boy over there." 1 out.
Ted Leitner, he's a treat in his own
He
self.
was a treat, and he's right. I think most guys in big leagues, when you hit the ball to third, you're done. You're like, don't hit it to that guy. I do not want to hit it there.
But you know what? Yeah, he took a double away from McGee and probably 2 RBIs. Uh-oh, this one's going to sneak through. Heston's first hit. Cargo up with the baseball, and they're going to stop. That was key. Slamming on the brakes was Maxwell, who runs well. And that was all out of respect for Cargo's arm.
Well, with the pitcher up, you shorten your distance, too. You're not thinking he's going to hit the ball over your head. So when that ball's hit hard to the right side, Cargo charged, and he's got the, not an easy play, but a play you're not going to challenge as a third base coach to challenge. He's in short left field, and he threw a bullet. I honestly think that if Morneau would have double clutched, they probably had a shot at third base, because he got a long ways around, and Maxwell did. And then he dives back in, but as Justin caught that cutoff, he's double pumping. He couldn't get that grip on the baseball. Or because of that throw by Cargo, probably got to play at third.
Tell you what, he wasn't, Spilly, all that far away from contacting Roberto Kelly, and if he did, it would be inning over.
Inning over.
Here's Blanco. He doubled his last time up. This is one of those moments. It's still relatively early in the game. Top of the 4th, 3-3 affair. Bases loaded. Eddie Butler got a bear down here. His next pitch, number 57. Will get it done. Butler gets over, and Eddie with the jam shot. Blanco ends the inning. Nolan Arenado does it again with his glove. 3-3 going to the bottom of the 4th. Brought to you by the Ford Escape. Smart, safe, and fun to drive. Ford Escape, go further. By Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Now, good pitching with traffic by Eddie Butler and a little bit of help from that third baseman. DJ had a base hit to drive in a run his first time up. He's got 11 ribbies now. Tied with Arenado for second on the club. Dickerson has 13. One ball, one strike. 7, 8, 9 for the Rockies here in the bottom of the fourth. DJ came into the ballgame third in the National League in hitting behind Adrian Gonzalez and Yonder Alonso. Two and two. Chop to third. McGee throw out DJ. Well, in the early going of this 2015 campaign, you look at the National League West. The Dodgers lost 3 straight to the world champion Giants. They're 9-6. The Padres, the new look Padres, 10-7. The Rockies a half game back. The Diamondbacks have quietly played decent baseball out of the gate at 8-7, and then again the 3 out of the last 5-year world champs are at 7-10. This ball's on the ground to second. The reason we show you the standings this early is that the NL West, the only division in baseball that has 4 teams above 500, Ryan.
It's crazy, and they've all played each other. They've played each other multiple times, and they've all been beating each other up at almost an even rate. This is a division that I expect it's going to be tough the entire season. There's not a lot separating the 3, 4, 5 from each other, and Los Angeles and the Padres, they have their warts too. I mean, this is going to be a very competitive, especially in their own division, and then they're going to go around and beat other teams up.
You know what's tough for me with this is you may have the 4th best team or 5th best team in baseball. You may not get in the playoffs because you got teams in the Central, you got teams in the East that are going to be not as tough a division as what you are here. And when you're playing 79 games within your division, yeah, that makes it pretty tough when you're in this tough of a division.
How about last year? Bochy's club wins 88 games. They go in as a wild card, as most of you are aware. They're only the 7th team ever to win a World Series with fewer than 90 wins. Now, it's helpful that you have the wild card, now the multiple wild card, which you didn't have years ago. But the point is, as tight as this division is, it's going to be hard to run away and say win 95 games in this NL West.
San Francisco Giants 3 times is the wild card, 3 times the world champions as a wild card.
Butler strikes out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Heston. We're tied at 3 as we go to the 5th. Maxwell, an early 2-run home run. Charlie Blackmon tied it up at 3 with his second home run of the year to dead center field. Nick Hundley continues to swing the bat well. In the 5th inning, Eddie Butler will see 2, 3, and 4 in the Giants lineup. That's Joe Panik, Angel Pagan, and Buster Posey.
I think the other side of it for a young pitcher too, because as a manager you're kind of protecting them a little bit. You don't let them work really deep in the game. Just get over that hump of saying, oh, I went 5. Oh yeah, I'm good. You know, because you're so protected at the minor league level to where, oh, he's got 80 pitches, got to get him out of the game. 80, which, you know, my feelings on all that. And I think, you know, they get to the big leagues, it's that theory behind their mind saying, all right, I'm going to get myself into the 6th inning, 7th inning till they have to pinch hit again, keep it a tie score, work deeper, as deep as I can in this ball game.
Here's Joe Panik, New York area kid. Outside 2-0. Panik a single and a fly ball down the left field line that Corey Dickerson made a nice running catch on. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Giants. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Rockies. And that runs outside. It's 3-0.
Now, 3rd time through this lineup, and this is where, you know, you got to kind of pitch differently than what you did the first 2 times. Now that they're up at the plate, velocity's still good. 93 miles an hour last fastball.
3 balls and 1 strike. Butler's walked 2. One of those walks was intentional. Line shot past diving Morneau, and this is going to be at least a double. Cargo had a long run to get to the baseball. So for the 2nd straight inning, a leadoff double. Last inning it was Gregor Blanco. Excuse me, 2 innings ago it was Gregor Blanco.
3-1 count to 3-0 count. Fastball was on the inner half of the plate. Tried to go back in again. Very easy pitch for a left-hander to pull to the right side of the infield, and he just shot it right by a diving Justin Morneau into that corner. I think and I thought maybe he was thinking about a triple, but again, it's the respect for the arm of Cargo in right field.
Pagan up there, 4 or 5 innings the leadoff man has reached against Butler.
And this is where you look at the numbers that Eddie has right now. He's got the 3.15 ERA, but if you look at some of the metrics about how often he walks guys, how he's pitching behind in counts, how he hasn't had the ability to strike guys out, you can see that he's been playing with fire this entire season. You try not to let it splatter, but he's been walking the fine line between getting guys out and not.
That's why when one of the categories I look at quite a bit, fellas, is whip, you know, walks and hits per inning pitched, and that's, to your point, Spilly, where it doesn't correlate, because he's almost 1 3/4 hitters on, base runners on per inning.
Yes.
And has a very low ERA, which means that, you know, he's been fortunate.
Very fortunate, or the other side of that is coming into this ball game, he'd given up 15 hits and 11 walks, 26 men on base. Only 4 had scored. He controlled it. He could control damage. For sinker ball guys, making a pitch to get out of innings when you can't, just like he did a minute ago when he had Blanco up at the plate with the bases loaded. He blew up his bat with an inside fastball.
You're right.
Well, when you're in this situation, George, obviously you'd like to see a strikeout, and Eddie had that ability at the minor league level. What should be his strikeout pitch here?
Well, the big strikeout for me is he needs to break a ball, and if he can't, put it on the back foot where they can't do a whole lot with it on the ground. You can see that's exactly where Nick Hundley's asking for the ball. He wants it in, and that was more of a cutter versus the fastball. You know, it's 84 miles an hour, and what you want to try to do, you want to bury that thing. When I say bury, you want it right down here. You want it on the back foot. That was left in an awful lot of the plate. Coming right out of the hand on the Subaru Supermo. Fingers out to the side. Ball stays flat. Circle spin versus down spin.
Yeah, he's lucky he got away with that pitch right there.
He has not been sharp with the slider tonight. A lot of them have rolled, as you guys are describing, as opposed to getting that tight late break.
Look, you can have a strikeout pitch be your fastball up in the zone.
He got him with a slider. I swung through it.
Pagan really pulled off that thing, trying to hit it a country mile to the right side, which worked in the favor of Eddie Butler. Worked very well with Butler because now he's gotten him off so far on that front foot, and that front head action of what he did with his head, bringing it forward, fingers on top. See the spin of the baseball, more downward spin. By the downward spin, downward break. What about Charlie? Last time Posey was what a catch he made in right center.
Well, first inning, Drew, you heard that's out of here, right? Is that what you thought you heard?
I thought I heard somebody out of the Giant dugout. I couldn't tell, but somebody say that's out.
It was Renee Latchman saying, "You're out. Get your gloves, Seminole."
Well, that makes sense because you can hear Latch from a mile away. Slowly hit the short. Descalso holds the runner, throws out Posey, 2 outs.
First 15,000 through the gates tomorrow will receive a Vinny Castilla drink beverage wrap brought to you by Donate Life Colorado. So make sure you're one of the first 15,000 here. If not, have not gotten your tickets for that, go to Rockies.com/promotions.
So Posey retired. That'll bring up Brandon Belt. A walk and a single for Belt. Descalso just waved in your direction, not at you, Billy, but at the dugout. He wanted to know, should he shift? He shifted last time, and Belt had a single right where a shortstop would normally play, but he's on the right side again here. They're going with the percentages. And as you always say, George, it means the pitcher's got to pitch to it.
You got to pitch to those percentages, and if that is, making the pitch to your defense. And that's why I hear, younger guys like yourself and other guys saying sabermetrics say shift. Well, we used to just say pitch to the defense. We're going to play him to pull, pitch him to pull. Don't go opposite of what we're playing defensively.
Now that first pitch was, down and away, which is the kind of pitch that Belt hit the other way last time.
Yeah,
so that's not pitching to the defense.
But it's off speed. It's not a hard fastball. So on an off speed, even though it's away from you, you're going to roll over on it.
Yeah, you're going to hook it.
That's the thing. You're going to hook that off speed pitch versus the other side of it. Here's the biggest thing. Don't pitch away from your strengths. If you're going to give up a run out right now, make it on your best pitch. Don't make it on your third or fourth best pitch. Just because the book says throw a changeup, it might not be the best time at a changeup. If that guy right there, Eddie Butler, doesn't believe he can make the pitch.
2-1 with 2 outs on Belt. Panic at second, a leadoff double. And now Hundley wants to go out.
That's a big part of the ball game. You're in the 5th inning. You got it. The ball game's tied 3-3. Nick may want to go with a slider. He's thinking sinker in or fastball up and away. Go out and talk about it.
Spilly, when you were playing center field, could you see the signs most of the time to get a step in the direction?
You can't see it, but I'll pay attention to the shortstop. I'd pay attention to Tulo or Clint Barmas, and they would try not to give away whether it's an off-speed pitch by moving too soon. But you can kind of see where these guys are going to move, or you can. Some guys have used to put their hands behind their back or put their hands on their hip to kind of give the outfielder an idea.
3-1, line drive left field, and that's going to drop down and send Panic home. Belt with a double, and it's 4-3 Giants. Belt right now looks like a different hitter than the Rockies saw in San Francisco when he was really struggling.
Well, they were saying before the game that they've liked how Brandon Belt's been able to take the pitches. He's not jumping at the ball. There's a ball out over the plate. He's not trying to pull it. He's not trying to hit into that shift. He's going to sit behind the baseball. You see how his head doesn't move very often. He just swings the bat straight through the zone. Again, that's a flat sinker up in the zone. George, you've mentioned it a couple times. You cannot miss out over the plate.
Oh, you got to miss down. I mean, if you're going to, it's going to be running away. And that same swing, if the ball's sinking, is more than likely a rolled over ground ball. That's more and more what Walt and the defensive guys are doing. The sabermetric guys are bringing down, saying here's where they hit the ball, and this is where they hit it when this pitch is thrown. And that's why they're making the shifts and making the moves that they're making.
0-1 on Maxwell, and that's fouled off. 0-2. Maxwell 7 for his last 14. Couple home runs, 5 RBIs. And tonight a 2-run home run and a single up the middle. Pitch count's fine for Butler, 76. But 4 runs on 9 hits for the Giants against Butler this evening.
This is where I wouldn't mind seeing that 97-mile-an-hour fastball to get yourself out of the inning. Put it up in the zone. We mentioned Maxwell's hit 2 sliders for base hits. Now challenge him with your fastball. Or spin move.
You know, the only way that's going to work is if you don't do something in your delivery that's not normal. And Eddie just like jerked his foot up straight. Immediately the runner's going to go back. It wasn't a normal leg turn. Does that make sense? I mean, it wasn't a normal pickup like you were going to go back that way. Rick Sutcliffe was the one that started doing that first and foremost in 1978. And man, he picked off a lot of guys doing it because it was all part of his natural delivery. He just kept turning and going on back to second base.
You know, had a great inside move for the Rockies, Tito, Brian Fuentes.
Yeah, he used it in fantasy camp. I felt bad for the guy.
1-2, and that's in the air to Cargo and right. That'll end the inning, but the Giants get a leadoff double from Panic and then a 2-out double from Brandon Belt to take a 4-3 lead, middle of 5.
One from one of our co-workers, Krista, and she sent us this picture of her brother and her dad checking out home plate, the construction zone here at Coors Field at 20th and Blake. That is a memory from 20 years ago. And I have one. 95 was my first year here. This is the Pennant Fever Brown Ale that they bottled when the team got into the wild card in the postseason. I've had this for 20 years when I got here back in 95. So some memories all weekend long about 20th and Blake, guys.
You broke
That's
that
pretty
out.
neat. I like that.
Yeah.
You going to share later?
That isn't going to be opened, I got a feeling.
No, this is going to stay intact.
I don't think it probably tastes really good right now either.
Well, fine wine ages. Why wouldn't?
Depends on how you store it.
It hasn't seen a lot of sunlight. It's in a brown bottle. Still foams up a little.
I still think it'll probably be pretty good. That's on the corner, 2-2.
And Charlie, how about the long ball he hit just a minute ago, dead center field, 425 feet. Third inning, got a ball up and away from him. Wham! It's actually 421, folks, to be exact on the distance of that home run.
Rockies trailing 4-3. Blackman leading off in the 5th inning. Dickerson, Arenado to follow. Tulowitzki being given the evening off. This ball's ripped to center too, but it's right at Pagan. But Blackman swinging it well, Spilly.
He is. He's staying nice and calm in the middle of the field, and that's what you want to see when you're swinging the bat like that.
Let's check our big hit presented by Mako. Turn the car you drive into the car you love. Yesterday, Corey Dickerson in a 1-1 game against Tyson Ross hit one a mile to the Padres bullpen. 5th home run of the year, 3rd in the last 2 days, and that was the difference as the Rockies beat the Padres to split that 4-game series. The final score 2-1. Dickerson was 1 for 18. Since that time, he's 5 for 8. Billy, you and I were talking in the dugout today. I don't care who you are, the late, great Mr. Padre, Tony Gwynn, even he had 1 for 15s.
Everyone has them, and you got to be able to bounce back from that. It's a long, long season. You look at what Cargo's doing, you look at what Corey's doing. You try not to get too high, you try not to get too low, and just understand. George, you say it all the time, it's about the back of your card at the end of the year.
Well, it was interesting. When I first went to the big leagues, I used to ask Lou Brock every day, Spill, I go, how you doing? And he'd just take his hand and make an even move all the way across. And he'd always tell me that. Don't get too high, don't get too low. I'm just as steady as I can go.
Fly low, fly straight.
1-1 on Corey. And this is on the ground to Brandon Crawford. Now he's starting to get dialed in. Chris Heston. 7 in a row retired by Heston. Morneau the last to reach with a single in the 3rd inning. Arenado 0 for 2. Ground ball to second, and he fouled out to Posey.
First pitch, well, he started him with that slider away. His first at bat, he chased it way out there. I mean, it was a bad slider and a bad swing. This time, Nolan laid off.
Down in Alan Bossart's office in the Rockies clubhouse. Alan is the director of clubhouse, home clubhouse manager, runs all clubhouse activities for the Rockies. Here's the 2-0. And this ball's driven to deep left field. Does it have enough? Off the glove. He dropped it on the rebound. And it'll be a double for Arenado. Great effort by Blanco. He almost caught that juggling. I don't know if it hit the fence, then it wouldn't have mattered. But that was interesting.
That's a great play. You know what? I think being left-handed for an outfielder kind of does him a disservice because it's hit to his glove side. So when he jumps up and has the ball in his glove, the first thing that hits is the glove into that wall.
Yeah, it wouldn't have counted, obviously. Hit the wall twice.
Yeah, it would have counted. But that's a great effort by Blanco. That's what the Giants have always been great about. Their defense is solid. I mean, maybe not the best hitters in the world, but they are. If you hit a ball to them, it's going to be an out.
See if the Rockies can get a 2-out ribby here out of Morneau.
They're one of the few teams that every time they come into a new city, the first day on the road, they take infield. Kind of old school before they start batting practice. A lot of teams, you know, they say, oh, well, I'll get the ground balls, I'll make the throws while batting practice is going on. And Bruce Bochy has made an emphasis of that. We're going to take infield.
2-0 on Morneau.
I think it's great. I know it's old school. In Japan, you do it all the time. But
the minor leagues, you do it all the time.
It's great. It's good for your arm to stay loose. It's good for you to feel the dynamics of the field.
This is a pitch around. It's 3-0. Clearly, they want to go right on right with Huntley on deck. To finish that thought, Alan Bossart in his office today had the 2 Gold Gloves, DJ's Gold Glove and Arenado's Gold Glove. And I was thinking to myself as I was looking at the awards, both those guys are going to collect more. You know, Arenado's going to collect a bunch more. I hope DJ, the way he plays defense, I hope he's recognized a number of times in the future. But you can about mail it to Nolan right now with the start he's gotten off to with the glove.
I actually asked Stu Cole before the game during batting practice. I said, how many Gold Gloves are you going to get this year? He looked at me and he gave me the sign for 4. All right.
That'll work.
All right, I'll take 4.
Hey, we're bragging on Arenado stealing a couple runs the other night, and that come from behind victory the Rockies had against the Padres Wednesday. Tulo made a great play up the middle to save a run. Here's Huntley.
Amazing he was that wild against More known, he paints the black on the knees.
Well,
he's pitching around him.
Yeah.
You know what, though? A lot of times when you pitch around guys is when you end up throwing one off the screen. Just go ahead and walk it. I hate that when a manager would come out and say, all right, I want to pitch around. Don't give me anything to hit. Invariably, you give him something to hit.
Hey, throw it right down the middle.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, George. If your thought is we don't want to pitch to this guy, then just pass on him.
Exactly. Yeah, all right, go ahead then.
Especially a guy like Morneau. He's not going to fish.
No.
No, the fish ain't biting.
1-1 on Hundley. 2 outs, 2 on for the Rockies, trailing 4-3 in the 5th. Two and one. Nick, an RBI double in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. He's locked in pretty good.
I'm interested to see how they're going to throw to Nick with Cargo hitting behind him. You don't want to have the bases loaded with Cargo, but the way he's been swinging it, this may be a lot more off-speed pitches to Hundley.
Went with that super sinker, and it's 2-2. Chris Heston out of East Carolina.
Guy knows how to pitch. You know, it's kind of like Christian Berkman. Both sides of the plate, 88 to 91 miles an hour, touching 92 occasionally, but you know they know how to pitch. They know how to make the pitchers, make guys work through at bats. Not afraid to challenge it.
I go back to something Bochy said before the ball game, that one of the things that's been really impressive for him about Heston is that he doesn't get flustered.
Got a low motor. You love it.
Two and two on Hundley. And he got him with a slider. So the Rockies leave 2 aboard in the 5th. We'll go to inning number 6. The Giants 4 and the Rockies 3. $1 million dream home or $2 million in cash, and also help out a wonderful cause. Visit milehighraffle.com for more information. We had the General John Barry on a couple days ago, and today is the deadline. So if you're listening, pay attention. Go to milehighraffle.com. You got to do it this evening for your chance to win a ton of great prizes. Of course, the grand prize, that $2.5 million home. Casey McGee's going to lead it off in the 6th inning. And the breaking ball's outside. With George Frazier and Ryan Spilborghs, Mark Stout along with us as well. I'm Drew Goodman. 4-3 Giants in the 6th. And this is a high fly ball to right center field. Cargo calls off Blackman, and Carlos makes the catch. With every challenged call, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Manager's review, total reviews so far throughout baseball, 107. And there's been 44 that have been overturned. What's been interesting for me, guys, is that the Rockies have had only 2 such reviews all year, and this is game number 17.
That is interesting, but the other side of it is the umpire's being wrong almost 45% of the time right now. That's the part I like.
Leave it to you to point that out.
Well, I mean, it's the facts are fact. You've been talking about sabermetric numbers all night long. That's a number. It's a fact.
Yeah, on the ones that are reviewed, the other ones they obviously have gotten right.
See how he does that.
He's a good tap dancer up there. I can hear
his
little
tap
Fred shoes over here.
It's Fred Astaire. Let me tell you.
Dancing with the rain up there.
I have great respect for those gentlemen. They get it right about 98% of the time.
Yes.
And they have to do it without the benefit of replay. 2-0 and now 3-0 on Brandon Crawford.
I can't tell you how many times I felt like I got rung up on a terrible pitch, and I come back later on in the night and I look at where the pitch was, and it was almost right down the middle. I was like, whoops, okay, maybe I shouldn't have given that guy an earful. I mean, it's the heat of battle. This is a big business, and your results are tied to a lot of things. And if you get out at first, and it's the difference between a hit and an out, it's frustrating. You're going to yell at somebody.
Jam shot. Good pitch by Butler. He got into Crawford's kitchen, and after fall behind 3-0, he gets the weak pop out. 2-gun. How many times in your career, if any, did an umpire say, hey, Spill, you know what, I missed that one?
You know what, Jim Joyce. I'll always, I mean, it's rare to hear an umpire actually tell you, I missed it. Jim Joyce in San Diego called a slider off the plate. Luke Gregerson, 3-2 count. He rung me up, and the next day said, Spilly, I missed it. I'm sorry.
Chris Heston fouls it off. Of course, Jim Joyce just worked the last series, the Rockies and Padres. Georgia, umpire ever tell you the same thing?
Oh, yeah, they pat him on the chest. You look in at him, kind of give him the look like, where was it? And they just pat themselves on the chest like, my bad, or I missed it. And the sad part about it is, I think it's kind of like the referee doing Little League basketball, and he doesn't make the call, or he doesn't run the floor as hard as the kids are. It means everything to those 10 kids on the floor. Referee it as hard as they're playing, because it does mean everything. You're getting paid $20 to referee the game. Well, a base hit might be the difference of hitting 300 or 294. It might be a difference of hitting 240, 250 versus 240. The difference of getting a job the next year in the big leagues or not.
Yeah, you're right. In some cases, it's the difference between playing the next day. You want to play the hot hand, you go 1 for 4 or 2 for 4.
Remember, Davey Phillips goes so mad at me because he came out in Oakland one day. It was a day game. It's about 100 degrees. It's hot. Tommy John bailed in like the 2nd inning, and I'm out there for like 4 or 5 innings. And I remember him walking to the mound. He goes, you got a problem with what I'm doing down here? And I go, yeah, I'm out here giving 100%. I'm watching you give me about 50. Let's get with it. I walked back up on the mound, and about 2 days, a couple series later, I ran into him, and he said, hey, I had a bad Sunday. And I said, well, I'm still trying to hang on up here, buddy.
Heston being a pain in the neck at the plate.
Yeah, he is.
1-2. That's strike 3. Good inning for Eddie Butler. That's his first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. It's 4-3 Giants. We'll see Cargo in the bottom of the 6th.
Kelly's got us a tweet. Favorite Coors Field moment, Cargo's walk-off. July 31st, 2010. Roll it. Coors Field memory. One of the best ever. 5-5 game against the Cubs. He hits for the cycle in the game. And, of course, he does this against Sean Marshall. We'll show it to you in his final AP of the game. And I know, Spilly, you've got a story about this. There's his third hit of the game. So the single, the double, the triple. And we got to show you the walk-off that I think went upper deck up into the Cubs seat, right? The fan who ended up sitting there with it. What did you tell Tulo when he was on deck?
Don't even grab your bat or your gloves. Just stand here and watch. The game's over.
You called that?
I told him. I said, don't put on your batting gloves, guy. Just stand right here and watch it. Game's over.
I'll never forget that moment because that thing went about 8 miles. First pitch. That's liner down the line. That's exactly what you wanted to see, Spilly, huh?
Well, it's just something where he's hitting behind the baseball. You can see how fast the ball just jumps off his bat. There is nothing wrong with his swing. Mechanically, he is identical to that walk-off home run we just saw. It's just a mental thing. Trusting himself. Try not to be an MVP. Just be yourself. Enjoy the game. When he's playing like that, there's nothing better. Now watch on the side. His head is moving a little bit, but not as much as it has been. That's a nice pitch out over the plate, and he drills it. That's beautiful hitting.
He's got one of the prettiest strokes in baseball. That's his first extra base hit since April the 12th. Tying run at second, nobody out. DJ LeMahieu at the plate. He drove in the Rockies' second run with a single in the second. 11 ribbies for DJ, who's spraying the baseball line to line. DJ will have to work with 2 strikes.
I was in AAA a couple years ago, and Bobby Jones was a manager. I think, George, you know who Bobby Jones, left-handed pitcher. He wasn't the right-handed with the Mets. But anyways, he told me in these situations, I used to hit third. He said, if you know that they're going to pound you in, go ahead and pull it. Pull it right past his third baseman.
That goes to the backstop, so the job is done for him. Heston throws a wild pitch. Cargo to third.
Not a whole lot that Buster Posey could do with this pitch when it bounced that far out in front and that far away from him. All he tried to do is come up and backhand the baseball and get lucky doing it.
We were talking about DJ. These are all the balls he's put in play. And yeah, he doesn't pull it a lot. He really stays inside the baseball. But we've seen him a couple times, Spilly, to your point, open his hips early and turn on the baseball. That's down the line. That's a fair ball. How pretty was that? Cargo comes home to tie it up. DJ in a second with an RBI double. Has there been a more clutch performer in the National League than DJ LeMahieu here in April?
And you have a lot of luck, too, because that was a 1-2 count, and the ball hit right down the line, down the first base line. DJ now 10 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Fastball, outer half, down in the zone. Very quiet, very still swing, and just shot it inside the bag at third base. And Spilly, you know as well as I do, when things are going right, it's a lot of fun to play the game, and when you're lucky, Lady Luck's on your side, it's even that much more fun.
Oh my goodness. Well, he's playing the game right. He was trying to hit the ball the opposite field. He wasn't trying to pull it. He was just letting the ball get deep. He was going to fight. And when you're playing the game the right way, you're playing for your teammates. You're not trying to do something more than what you're capable of. You typically will get good results.
So now the go-ahead run at second, nobody out. Back-to-back doubles. Rockies did that in the second. Bordeaux and Hundley as the former Rocky Javi Lopez is up. Descalso at the plate. Eddie Butler in the on-deck circle. Inside, ball 1 on Daniel. Strikeout and the ground ball to second.
Well, this is the beautiful cat and mouse game that managers can play against each other. Having Eddie Butler on the on-deck circle, maybe they pitch around Descalso to get to Butler. Maybe they throw him different with the idea that you're probably going to have a pinch hitter come up.
Well, the thing is here, if you strike out Dos Calso, you know, now all of a sudden they're going to go ahead and pitch to whoever comes up to the plate, whether it's Eddie or whoever. And you know, the thing, I talked a little bit to Bochy about that before the game. He goes, listen, they can do whatever, anybody can do whatever they want to. I'm going to manage my game, and I'm going to go with who I want to. And he said, I really look at all of those things.
But George, as a pitcher, would you ever look out on deck? So maybe Bochy's managing the game he wants to, but he doesn't. He's not the guy on the center stage right now pitching.
No, I mean, you always look around and see who's out there, but you also know in your own mind that Eddie Butler's not going to hit. You know, you're thinking prior to the ball game, if I get into this situation, who am I going to see? Am I going to see Yanoa? Am I going to see Tulowitzki? I think that was the one big thing that impressed me most about Jim Tracy when he was managing here. He goes, I'll take my shot with Giambi. If I think I got to win the game right now in the 6th inning, I'm taking my shot. Coca-Cola value packs are back for the 2015 season, available every value game, including May 4th and 6th through the 6th versus the Diamondbacks. For either $59 or $79, it depends on your seat location. Make sure you participate. It is a great pack. You get 4 tickets, hot dogs, Cokes, and a whole lot more. 303 Rockies or Rockies.com/specials.
So Rafael Yanoa will pinch hit for Butler. Butler goes 6 innings. The Rockies can score here. He goes to the plus side. So look at his work this evening. 4 runs on 9 hits. And George, progress again, because he did not have a sharp slider tonight. His arsenal was deficient by that one pitch.
Well, he made 2 bad pitches with his slider, both of them to maximum. One's a home run, one's a double. Swung it bat well, drove in a run with him. And I think where he did tonight was he just attacked the zone. And, you know, that's a good guy to be set by, Kyle Kendricks, to talk about your outing tonight, and talk about mistakes and the positive side of it. But like Walt said, you know, yesterday.
There's our man, Rafael Yanoa. He just put the Rockies in front with their 3rd double of the inning. How good has he been of late?
Well, he walks up to a song, LMAFO, sexy and you know it. And there he goes. It makes me laugh every time he comes up to the plate. Being a pinch hitter in those situations, it's tough. You're on the bench. You're facing a guy maybe you've never seen before, but look at it. Gets the ball out over the plate. We've seen this with all the lefties tonight. Cargo, Morneau. They are not getting outside of themselves. They're staying within themselves. They're staying within the baseball. They got to pitch out over the plate. And that's sexy, don't you think?
That was sexy. All 3 doubles sexy. All in the opposite field. Spilly will break down some more walk-up songs when we come back. Rockies up 5-4. Two runs in the inning, and the Rockies aren't done. Just 1 out in the 6th. Log on to CFD Rodeo /Miranda Lambert for your chance to win tickets to see Miranda Lambert in concert Saturday the 18th of July in Cheyenne at Frontier Days, summer's largest country Music Festival. Charlie Blackmon to face Javi Lopez. George, finish that story on Walt.
Especially coming in now, left on left. This is what Javi does. You can see it 3 1/3 over 8 ball games. Not a lot of innings pitched, but this is his job. Get that tough left-hander out, and they've hit 143 against. Well, Walt was saying in his pregame show yesterday, Coors Field is different. The quality start here is 6 innings with 4 runs, 7 innings, 4 runs. Kyle Kendrick did it. Gave your team a chance to win. You go out as a starting pitcher, is what Walt's point was, and give up 4 at Coors Field and give me 6 innings, we should win that ball game.
Slowly hit right side, and the flip to Lopez in time to get Charlie. So 2 outs. And Dickerson will come up against the sidewinding lefty out of the University of Virginia.
Another tough left-hander in their bullpen. Petit, another right-hander, excuse me, reliever is Petit throwing down in their bullpen. Yeah, it's kind of surprising here, but this is the very first time in their career these two have matched up, Dickerson versus Lopez.
Dickerson a single in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. Slider off the plate. Bobby gets to stay at home when he comes to Denver. He lives in the Golden area.
Is his wife a doctor? Or getting her doctorate?
She has a PhD. I believe she got it at the University of Tennessee. Spilly, that's called a big old hack.
That's a big old Mississippi hack right there. He gets a pitch out. Up, looks like I don't know what that is, but that is not a pitch that you want to hit. But Dickerson doesn't mind. He'll swing at anything.
And he'll hit about anything.
He will. I mean, he's one of the few guys I've seen that. He reminds me of Hank Blaylock. That's the guy. That's the player who I've matched him up.
The former Ranger.
He is Hank Blaylock.
See, I'm thinking a little more Vladimir Guerrero. He hits it anywhere it's thrown. On the hop, which we've seen. Over his head, which we've seen. Vlad's little son's a pretty good player. Get a lot of money down in the Dominican. Going to be a very high draft pick. Vladimir, think about that, Guerrero Jr. That's how old you are, Goody.
Yeah, well, Huey came up when Vlad was with the Expos. Said that was a sight to behold. Early home run leaders. Adrian Gonzalez, Joey Votto with 6. There's Corey next. 3-1. Ooh, we got a pitch there.
You know, lefty specialist, you always think kind of a sloppy guy, going to throw you slow sliders, slow curveballs. Lopez has the ability to get his fastball up to 88, 89 miles an hour. So it's not really that lefty specialist. Where he gets you is when he drops down and throws at 88, then he drops down and throws that 70-mile-an-hour frisbee slider on the outside corner.
I still think, wouldn't you believe that Spilly, it's got to be the slider here?
At this point, I think he can throw the kitchen sink. Corey's not a guy that likes to walk.
This ball lobbed into shallow left, and it's going to drop. The Rockies take a 2-run lead. Dickerson coming through. DUI senior there to greet him. Rafi Noah getting the high fives in the dugout. 6-4 Colorado.
Now Bochy hoping Petit's ready to go to face the right-handed hitting Arenado, and that's what Bochy's going to do. They gave Lopez a shot at 2 lefties, succeeded on 1. The other one got him. Corey Dickerson able to dump this into left field and put the Rockies on top in this game, 6-4.
Three-run inning for the Rockies. Dickerson with his 2nd hit of the night. Rockies up a couple runs here. after every Rockies victory. Get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is ROCKSWIN. Go to papajohns.com and enter that promo code. Yusmeiro Petit, maybe the best long-haul guy in baseball, George.
Frisco doesn't make it to the World Series without this young right-hander. And again, this is a guy that's just hung around, finally get opportunities, taking advantage of it. He does not walk people. He will pound the zone, not with overpowering stuff, but with impeccable control. Outside corners down, inside corners down. He'll throw 88 to 89 miles an hour, mix in a slider, cutter, and also show you a very good curveball at times. But man, it's the ability to pinpoint these pitches.
Spilly, how much does it help you? You're a right-handed hitter, obviously. Petit pitches from the extreme first base side of the rubber.
It just creates an angle. It creates a, if he doesn't have a lot of movement on his fastball, he can still crossfire it into you. So it helps. It helps us to see the baseball a little bit more, but it also creates that angle that the ball feels like it's coming straight into you.
Arenado 4 for 13 in his career versus Petit. The last fastball, 87 on the corner.
Double off the wall, really off the glove of Blanco last inning. 8-game hitting streak for Nolan. And just a high fly ball to center field. Pagan's got it. The Rockies in the inning scored 3 runs on 4 hits. 3 of the hits were doubles. Cargo got it started. Breaking out of a slump with a double down the left field line. Rafi Noah off the bench. Rockies up by 2.
And to get tacos, use the hashtag Toyota Talk. All weekend long, we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Coors Field, which is this Sunday. It's going to be a fun weekend. We got this tweet from Riker, and his favorite Coors Field memory, that unassisted triple play from Tulo. The Rocks just scored 3 runs. Let's show you 3 outs on 1 play. April the 29th, 2007 here at Coors Field off the bat of Chipper Jones. There's Tulo. Hard to believe this is almost 8 years old. Toss over to Helton. Actually, I think he got like 4 outs on that, guys, but that is one of the Coors Field memories that we have as we celebrate this great ballpark this weekend.
You're right, Mark. That was an unassisted quadruple play.
Yeah.
Tagging everybody.
You tag the umpire.
Yeah, we're going to make sure. Christian Friedrich will take over here in the 7th inning. Eddie Butler, a season best 6 innings, 4 runs, 9 hits, couple walks, 1 intentional, 3 punch outs. Christian making his 8th appearance. He gets the top of the order, and 2 of the first 3 are lefty. Gregor Blanco and Joe Panik. And the first pitch is high, ball 1 on Blanco. Rockies put Descalso basically up the middle against Blanco. He had a double back in the 3rd, 1 for 3, and he kind of slaps it And guess who's there? Can he get it?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Nolan Arenado, by the time he finished throwing that baseball, was in short right center field. Only guy on the left side. Blanco went softball on us, right?
That's Scott Podsednik. I've seen Scott Podsednik do that a bunch of times. I've seen Emilio Bonifacio, but that ball was coming out of Nolan's hand at 100 miles an hour. The guy loves playing defense. I don't think you understand that. Most guys don't love to play defense. This guy loves it. He's a puppy trying to play fetch with the baseball.
I'm trying to remember if it was Walt or Spilly or George. I'm trying to remember because Vinny was a great third baseman. And they said, you know, I thought Vinny was at the top of the shelf.
Oh, I thought he was too. And I mean,
this guy's.
And I go back. I was lucky. I got to watch Brooks Robinson. I got to watch Greg Nettles. Both really good third basemen. You know, they were great third basemen. Well, the thing is, Billy, you know as well as I do, a lot of players like to work on things that they're really good at. They don't like to work on things they're not good at. And I think Nolan's a very good hitter, loves to work at it. Very good fielder, loves to work at it. And the nice part about it, folks, if you come to the ballpark and in between innings, you watch Nolan, particularly early, he is all the way in the corner as far away as he can possibly get to get his arm stretched out, to get warmed up to make those long throws. And then he'll move in closer. He moves around just an infield.
Angel Pagan step in from the right side now against the lefty Friedrich, and the Rockies put a shift on as well. Curveball for a strike. Another curveball, and he held up 1-1. You don't often say this. My dad was fortunate enough to see Willie Mays in his rookie season in '51 in northern part of Manhattan, play virtually every day. This is going to drop into right center for a base hit. But you don't often say you go to the ballpark to watch a guy play defense. But I'm telling you, people will come out to Coors Field to watch Nolan Arenado play defense.
Well, I think they watch the whole infield. There's so many Gold Gloves, but Nolan is the marquee. He's the tip of that pyramid you're looking at. But then you have Troy Gold Glove. Then you have DJ Gold Glove. And to have Morneau, who played a brilliant first base. I mean, you know, it's a fun team to watch because they do catch it. Yeah, I thought Walt was waiting on Brooks Brown to get going down in the bullpen, and he'd rather have right on right facing Buster Posey.
So Christian got the first two. Pagan reaches with 2 outs, and it will be Brown to face Posey. Rockies up 2 runs here in the top of the 7th inning. 6-4 Colorado. Noble. How about the glove work again of the Rockies Gold Glove third baseman? He turned that into a double play. Casey McGee thought he had double and a couple of ribbies. And then a few moments ago, the slap by Gregor Blanco, the only guy on the left side of the infield's Arenado. No problem, I got it. A little pirouette, fires a strike to Justin Morneau. Those are game changers, folks. T-Mobile game changers. 6-4 Rockies, 2 outs, 1 on. Brooks Brown to face Buster Posey. Interesting that at least in the early going, Brooks has had more success against lefties. Good fastball, good slider. Throw in the mid-90s. That fastball in the mid-90s misses. 96 outside. Ball 1.
Well, I know Buster Posey's 0 for 3 tonight, but he's taken 3 pretty decent swings at the baseball.
He almost went deep in the first. 2-0. Hit a ball that Charlie tracked down right in front of the wall.
So, you know, this is going to change eventually. Posey's 0 for 11 against the Rockies in 2015. Just hope it doesn't change right now.
3-0. And you have a hot hitter on deck in the left-handed hitting Brandon Belt. You can't just throw a cookie in there, assume he's taking 3-0 here.
No. Not at this point of the game. You're in the 7th inning. One of your best hitters, your home run hitters, your RBI guy. No, he's not taking.
Nope, no way.
He may take an outside corner knee block fastball.
Flat one.
But he's not going to take, you know, a gut shot. He's going to take a hack at that. And that's what you want him to do.
.412 career average at Coors Field. Strike 2. Hit his location there. Crowd of more than 31,000 getting involved. They know it's a big sequence here. 3-2 on Posey. 2 outs in the 7th. The Rockies +2 on the scoreboard.
Fastball away, work the outside corner. Hundley just take away his power.
Ground ball to Nolan. Great job, Brooks Brown. He comes back from a 3-0 deficit against Posey, gets the ground out. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th, 6-4 Rockies. Dealer Second inning, Justin Maxwell got the scoring started for the Giants, a 2-run home run. Charlie Blackmon would hit a solo home run. That tied it at 3. And then Rafael Ynoa, the Rockies would take a 6-4 lead. Ynoa pinch hit double to drive in a run. 6-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Ryan Spilborgh's field level. Mark Stout out in center field. And the first pitch from Yusmeiro Petit at the bottom of the 7th to Justin Morneau. This is outside, ball 1. Petit got the final out of the 6th inning. Morneau, Huntley, and Cargo.
Tell you what, he's got such good body action on every pitch that you think it's coming 180 miles an hour, and it's 87, it's 88. But it's the up front arm action, it's the head action, it's everything incorporated that sell the pitches for Petit.
1-2. Final numbers on Chris Heston, who came into the ball game, Spilly, with an 0.87 ERA, 5 1/3, 6 runs, 11 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts.
I think most guys, when you come in and pitch at Coors Field, you know you're going to probably get, you're just going to have to grind through it. And I remember David Price giving up 8 runs but pitching 6 innings.
This ball is golfed to deep right. Maxwell nearly misjudged it. Fortunate for him that he's 6'5".
A lot of backspin and carry. A couple of guys in the Rockies bullpen gesturing a little bit with Maxwell. And he's able to get back on this throw on this ball, but a little backspin and a little more carry than what you thought. Pretty good ups. Because without those ups,
wow, look at the snow cone.
Wow. Yeah, we always used to yell out of the bullpen, why don't you lick it, looking like a snow cone.
Nick Hundley, an RBI double back in the 2nd. He's 1 for 3. And this is popped up on the right side. Belt calling for it. So Cargo got the rally started last inning, lining a bullet down the left field line for a double. It was his first extra base hit in 12 days. And of course, he'd been mired in a horrendous slump. And we were mentioning how, you know, every great hitter goes through it. I think I threw out the late great Tony Gwynn and said even a guy like Tony Gwynn, who won 8 batting titles, had his 1 for 15. Well, Dougie looked it up. In 1998, Gwynn went 0 for 18, and he ended up hitting .321 that year.
As a hitter, you always have to remember your swing is your swing. If you're not getting the results you want, and Cargo's hit a lot of balls right at guys, a lot. And you try not to attach that batting average, the 183. Oh, I'm a 183. I got to get a hit right now. No, you just keep grinding away. Keep doing what makes you special. Don't change anything.
2-0.
Well, very similar to a team's actions, too. Look at what the Giants were a week ago, and then all of a sudden now they're back after a sweep of the Dodgers. You know you're going to do it. So eventually it's going to happen. You're going to get on that streak where you have an 8 for 12 week. You know, an 8 for 12, 3 or 4 days. Things are going to jump.
2 balls and a strike. Cargo fouls it off on the left side. 2-2.
Follow the Rockies live in 2015 with MLB.com at-bats, your iPhone or smartphones, tablets featuring scores, stats, highlights, and a whole lot more. Download MLB.com at-bat today.
Outfield straight up and very deep. 2 outs, nobody on.
Started to go with fastball in. Petit shook to the outside corner.
And that's base hit to center field. An excellent piece of hitting there. What great plate coverage, Ryan.
And that's what Cargo is capable of doing. He just has to trust it. And you can see when it wasn't a team at bat where he wasn't trying to pull the ball, he can now get the ball out over the plate. He is so good with the ball away from him. He can drive it. He can pull it. He can go opposite field. This is a 2010 batting champ. He can flat out rake. And so I do not look at the numbers. I do not look at his swing and think that there's anything wrong. It's just trust him. Trust your hands. Just keep going.
Now, great hitters to me have a very still head. They keep all the weight distributed on that back knee and over that back half of your body. And I thought these swings tonight, he's done a good job of that.
You're right.
Being able to stay back on that, you know, as soon as the head floats, everything else floats with it.
And that was the problem last year, George, with that left knee tendonitis. He wasn't capable, kind of like what Corey Dickerson may have to go through with the plantar fasciitis. If you cannot sit on that back left leg, that drive leg, you have no chance hitting.
This is a running situation.
Oh, that's going to be a hit.
Will it drop in fair territory? You bet. Everything falling for DJ. Cargo to third. He'll get a stop sign from Stu Cole. And excuse me double for DJ LeMahieu, his third hit of the night.
George, you want to break down that swing? That looked like a pitcher swing to me.
A Balin, oh my gosh. Yeah, it looked like one of those ducks you see flying over the pond. I mean, Corey Dickerson's like, really? He just threw up his hands at DJ. And you're right, because you know what? There's going to be a whole bunch of line drives you hit right at people that are going to go for outs. And that's what's happened to Cargo right now. And just on the opposite end of that, I'm going to check my swing. Oh, no, sinker in. Oh, no, it's a double. I better get going here. And it is fair by just inches, right on top of the white line.
Great swing. You see how he just kept the bat in the zone the whole time?
Oh, stop. He just stop.
It was there forever. Descalso takes low, ball one. 2 outs, a chance for the Rockies to add on. Cargo at third, LeMahieu at second. Last 2-hit game, by the way, for Carlos. April 8th in Milwaukee. There's more to come.
Yeah, Boone Logan has gotten up in the Rockies bullpen. Remember, Axford went back-to-back days.
Ottavino still with that elbow. He says he's ready to go. Knowing Walt, I'm sure he'd like to give him an extra day if possible.
Well, you know what? You got to win ball games. If your closer says, I'm ready, you know, then you go. If not, if you don't feel like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be the boss of the classroom, you're not going. I'm going to give you another day. Try to piecemeal your bullpen through, but a lot of times, you know, obviously that doesn't get made publicly, only because you got a manager on the other side that's going to set up his bench hitters and do things the opposite of what he knows.
Stubbs on deck.
You know, it's funny. I asked Bruce Bochy that question. I said, you look at the box scores 5-7 days in advance of playing a team and say Christian Friedrichs pitched 5 days in a row. And you think, well, okay, I can set up my pinch hitters here that I don't have to worry about.
How about this little maneuver poker by Walt Weiss? He had Stubbs in the on-deck circle. And here comes the perennial all-star Troy Tulowitzki.
Well, here's the deal. You got a guy hitting 300. You got a guy hitting 0. Who are you going to go to? You got a chance to blow the game wide open right now? That's what we're talking about. You take your shot when you can take your shot. Bottom of the 7th, bases loaded.
I remember, Spilly, when Jim Tracy used to do this with Giambi. Instead of playing the big man card in the 9th, every once in a while he'd say, here he comes in the 7th or 8th.
You got to pick your spots. This is a great spot to do it. The old switcheroo. And what better at bat than for Tulo? Look, if you're going to, this is a guy that loves these type of situations. So you're putting him in a situation that he thrives in. It's not leading off an inning. It's not 2 outs, nobody on. Put him on with people on base.
Here we go. And that's in there for a strike.
Kind of like what Walt did, though, in the odds with Brown. You know, when he came in to face Posey, he's 2 for 2 with a home run. Now, all of a sudden, you're sending a guy up who's 1 for 14 in his career against Petit. But with the bases loaded in his career, 2 grand slams and 82 RBIs. I like Troy's chances.
1-1.
The only issue that can come up is if Tulo was ready or not. And I know he's been in the cage probably the entire game swinging the bat. So you know he's hot. But there are times where you're worried that guy, that he's ready for the 9th inning, and then you spring it up on him in the 7th.
Well, the other side of that is, too, with a short bench, you only got 4 guys. You've already used 1 in Noah, so you're down to really 1.
1-1, popped up right side. Panic makes the catch. So the Rockies will leave him loaded in the 7th. still up a pair of runs as we go to inning number 8.
As we go to the 8th on this Fan Friday, all weekend long celebrating Coors Field. It turns 20 Sunday. Use the hashtag Toyota Talk when you send us our memories. We have one from Keith that goes back to 1998. You can see that old school Florida Marlins hat. All-Star Game, July 7th. His memory of Coors Field, 51,000 plus packing the place. It was the place to be in Rodo, because Faith Hill sang the national anthem in front of the crowd. The Rockies had 3 players, including Larry Walker, Vinny, and Dante Bichette. Walker was a starter. Tom Baylor was there. Walker hit 7th. And Walt Weiss was the starting shortstop for the National League, hitting 8th in that game. The AL would win it by a score of 13-8. Roberto Alomar Jr. was the MVP. There is a young Walt Weiss back in 1998. Good memories of Coors Field. And the only All-Star game here at 20th and Blake, guys.
Yeah, Walt had a great line. I think it was to you, Mark, recently. He said, I should have hit 10th in that lineup. Brandon Belt against Boone Logan, and he fouls off the first pitch. Fastball at 93. Belt, and then a couple of right-handed bats, Justin Maxwell and Casey McGee.
Belt 0 for 2 in his career against Boone Logan, making his 8th appearance on the season. A .540 earned run average with 8 strikeouts. Left-handers have hit just 167. The high earned run average coming from the other night's game where Boone gave up 3.
And that's going to sneak through the left side, a base hit. That's where Belt got his other hit.
Now, no right-handers up in the bullpen for the Rockies. This 8th inning is Boone Logan's. That's going to be a fun weekend, Mark. You mentioned that earlier. Walt Weiss, Eric Young, obviously they're here. Darren Holmes is here. Vinny Castilla's here. Bailey's coming in. Roger will be here. Dante, Larry, the long list of guys. Kevin Ritz, Jayhawk Owens, Billy Swift, Larry Walker. Should be a great weekend.
David Mead. I saw his little care package they were building over there. Some cool stuff in there. I tried to steal one.
David Mead.
Yeah, this is where that sinker's going to play a role for Boone Logan to try to get a rollover here.
Justin Maxwell, 2-run home run and a single, 2 for 3. The damage for the Giants have come with Belt, Maxwell primarily. Belt's 3 for 3 now with a walk.
Logan's 4th holes on the year have tied him for 5th in the National League. The Rockies bullpen, 18 holes. That leads the National League.
And he misses 2-0. 3-0 on Justin Maxwell. Eighth inning, nobody out, lead single by Bell.
You can see Steve Foster on the phone down to the bullpens. Things will start scurrying around down there. That pitch in for a strike.
On deck.
The youngster Scott Oberg, who got a big strikeout yesterday, has started to throw in the Rockies bullpen.
And now there's an issue. 2 on, nobody out. Casey McGee is coming up.
The 2015 Colorado Rockies Youth Baseball Camp at Coors Field, presented by Sports Authority, will take place on June the 23rd and 24th this season. Registration may begin in May for boys and girls ages 8 to 13. 303 Rockies, Rockies.com/community. Yeah, this conversation is more, and I guarantee you Boone Logan knows it, it's more about getting that guy loose. Scott Oberg, to give time for him to get going. He came in and got a big strikeout yesterday. Hoping Boone can work his way around this thing.
Well, he's going to pitch to McGee clearly, and therefore he's going to pitch to Crawford. It's 2 hitters. As Crawford hits from the left side.
I've always argued, and I'll argue no matter who's batting, first and second, nobody out, is bunt situation. I personally, I hated to hit in this situation. There wasn't many results I could do other than getting a hit by pitch, or a walk. I'd rather move both runners over.
McGee, ground ball, should be 2. There's 1. There's 2.
Well, I tell you what, Maxwell went hard into Descalso too. Nice turn by Daniel.
Well, he got a lot on that throw, Spilly, coming right back at you.
Well, and that's why you stay in there. Daniel does a great job of just standing in there. But there's the situation. McGee hits the ball hard the opposite way, doing what you're trying to do, and that's a ground ball to move the guy over. No, it's not. It's a double play. Maxwell comes in hard, but Descalso, look, staying in there has got to be one of the toughest things to do as an infielder with a guy right on top of you, and he does an excellent job of getting rid of that ball.
You know, it also looked like Maxwell wasn't even close to anywhere touching the bag either. I don't know if you noticed that from your vantage point. You know, when you make that slide to take out the would-be shortstop turning the double play, you got to be able to touch the bag, and it didn't look like he could come in close to it.
Here's Crawford with 2 outs, and he fouls off the first pitch. 2 years ago, Crawford was abysmal left on left. And last year, I mean, he basically flipped the tables. He was really good left on left.
231 average this year with runners in scoring position. Against Boone Logan, he's 1 for 3.
What makes him dangerous, Spilly, you and I were chatting about this earlier this afternoon. Crawford doesn't hit for big average, but he'll surprise you and he'll hit one of the seats every once in a while. In fact, he leads the Giants right now with 3 home runs.
He's going to run into one. He doesn't have the greatest approach at the plate. The guy can flat out pick it when it comes to being on defense. But if you miss it in his zone, he will make you pay.
Where's that?
And I think a lot of times with left-handers, you hang that breaking ball, and they're bailing away from it anyway, and it stays in that inner half, and that's where a lot of that power comes from. But that one looked like it caught the top of the zone. It was called a ball on a 1-1 count. We'll take a peek in where they're going here. A fastball away, outside corner. A lot of times you think you're coming breaking ball. Pretty good pitch right there. And Hundley acknowledged back to his pitcher. Right spot, right location.
Two outs in the 8th inning. Crawford 0 for 2. He was intentionally walked back in the 4th inning. At third base is Brandon Bell. 6'4" Colorado. Slider. Got it on the front door. Delayed call by John Tumpain. Not popular with Brandon Crawford. Inning over. And Bruce Bochy's going to come out and argue balls and strikes. pitch, and it got the very bottom of the Ford strike zone. You can see it there. Crawford can't believe it. Bochy came out, and the argument didn't last long before John Tumpane tossed him.
Say, get out of here. You know what? It's not where the catcher catches the ball. It's where it crosses the plate, and it's the knee hollow. I know it sounds funny. I've heard sitting in some of these umpire meetings when they're explaining the strike zone to us players, the hollow of the knee is it's up for interpretation, but basically from below your kneecap is a strike, and that's exactly where that pitch crossed.
Off the plate, 2-0 on Blackman, top of the Rockies order, as Yusmeiro Petit continues on.
You know, probably the biggest difference in Bochy getting tossed right there, if it's a veteran umpire, you know, Bochy's not coming out there to get tossed. It's a 6-4 ball game. I've won 1,625 games, 3 of the 5 last World Series. I'm coming out to protect my player. And the minute he opened his mouth, he got tossed.
But you can't argue balls and strikes. That's a rule.
Come on, you know, come on. How many guys? Are you serious with that?
No, but I'm saying by the rule, if you argue balls and strikes, it's an ejection.
I know, but how many guys argue it and don't get tossed? A lot. How many times they bark out of a dugout in the 3rd or 4th inning and the umpire puts his hand up, hey, we're enough. You could toss him there if you wanted to.
From the dugout. But when you come out, typically now you get tossed. 2-2 on Blackman.
And I mentioned it earlier, but as being a player where you yell at the umpire, you're like, that's a terrible call, blah, 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 blah. And you go back and you look at it, you look at this pitch FX, you look at the strike zone, and you're like, well, it was a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
And, you know, initial thought on it, I don't know what you thought, George. Initially, I thought it was a little bit low also. And then
I thought it was a low call. I'm going to be very honest. I didn't think it was a strike. But, you know, obviously I'm not down there. It just didn't look like a strike. I'm happy for Boone Logan and the Rockies that it was. I'm thrilled to death that he got out of the end.
2-2 on Blackman. And Charlie hits it in the air to shallow left. Crawford goes out, 1 gone. Who Wants Tacos fans, follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs.
This guy might give you tacos tonight.
He could very easily do it. The high water mark at home. This is game number 8 at home for the Rockies. And this is kind of surprising, but we're in this pitcher's era. The Rockies' high water mark is 6 runs tonight, and that 7-6 loss a few days ago to the Padres. The Rockies usually hand out a ton of tacos. None so far.
It's not taco season yet.
Adam Ottavino is warming up, more than likely to come on to pitch the 9th inning.
Two 2-0 on Dickerson. 2 for 4. RBI single in the 6th inning. Left on left against Javi Lopez. 14 hits for the Rockies this evening. That's in there, 2-1. Three and 1. Nolan will be next.
This is where Dickerson likes to tighten his batting gloves and retie his shoes because he's probably going to come out of them right now.
He did. Foul back. He has 5 home runs, and it's April the 24th. He hit his 5th home run a year ago on his way to 24, which led the club, on May the 18th. He's basically a month ahead of last year's pace. And when the Rockies win, he is in the middle of things. He's batting .382 in the Rockies' 9 victories with a slugging percentage of .941. Again tonight, a couple hits and 4 at-bats and a ribby.
And dating back to last year in March when he, since 2013, his home OPS of 1,092 is better than anyone in baseball. Nobody's better.
Outside, great at bat. And that's where some of the maturity has come on with Dickerson, Spilly, because that's a spot that I think he may have swung at a year ago. I mean, he had a strike zone from the shoe tops to the top of his helmet. He passed on that. It wasn't a bad pitch.
No, and it's not just Corey. It's the rest of the Rockies too. This is a team that, as a group, they swing at more balls outside the zone than literally anyone else in baseball. It's kind of it's what makes them special. It's also can be, you know, hair pulling when you're watching it and they're swinging at too many balls outside the zone.
This ball pulled through the hole, base hit for Arenado. That's his 2nd hit of the night. The Rockies have 15 knocks this evening. Well, to your point, Spilly, the Rockies will not walk a lot. In fact, they're 28th in walk percentage this year. But one of the reasons they're a couple of games above 500, hopefully on their way to 3 above 500, they hit a lot of line drives, 3rd highest in baseball. And when they're behind in the count, 244 doesn't sound like a great average, but it's the 4th best in baseball behind in the count. Major League averages is 204. And in the clutch, guys in scoring position, they're 5th best at 300. And this is off the glove of Petit. It's going to be a tough play to get one. They get Morneau at first as Panic recovered. And that was one of those deals where it worked out nicely, George, that Petit got some leather on it because it probably would have been a double play.
Well, more than likely it is going to be a double play. You got 2 guys moving towards the bag. Panic's going to backhand the ball, flip more than likely to Crawford. Instead, he's got to go to first after the deflection. This is the other part, I think, of the Rockies done a really nice job. 2 out RBIs on the year. We've done a very good job of swinging the bat in this situation.
So Nick Huntley, 1 for 4, doubled in a run in the 2nd to right center. Got a pitch and fouled it back. Scott Oberg has gotten up as well. Ottavino is down. I don't know if this is if it becomes a 4-run game.
Well, Ottavino admitted yesterday in the papers it's just kind of normal soreness in his arm. Ackford went back-to-back days. Could be one of those deals. Tried to get up, tried to get loose, and it didn't work.
That's a
This is shallow right, and the sliding catch made by Maxwell. That saved a couple of runs. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies leading the Giants 6-4. At Southwest.com. By Wingstop, get the flavor for your whole crew. Order online at wingstop.com. Get at it. And by Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price and sales and service guaranteed. Rockies 3 outs away from winning this opening game against the Giants in the Mile High City. Let's check in with Jenny Kavnar. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Drew. Coming up on the Toyota postgame show, we're going to talk a little Eddie Butler. But wait, when Eddie left the game in the on-deck circle in the bottom of the 6th, game was tied. By the time the inning was over, he was in line for the win. We also got to talk about Nolan Arenado. Need I say more than the Golden Boy and his amazing defensive plays? And we'll have a little 6-pack and a roadie. We're talking 7 doubles for the Rockies offense. For now, we'll send it back to Drew, George, and Spilly. We'll see you after the game, guys.
Jenny, thank you. It'll be the 9th appearance for Adam Ottavino. He took over the closer role a little more than a week ago, and he's going to get Nori Aoki pinch hitting in the 9 spot. And that's fouled off.
First fastball, 96 miles an hour out of the hands of Ottavino.
I think he feels okay.
Yeah, I think it's all good right now.
It's Aoki, Blanco, and Panic. Slider miss, 1-1. It's against left-handers, George, that Ottavino feels like he has really improved from a year ago.
And he has. I mean, that's the one spot that he feels like he can throw the slider both sides. He's got the additional velocity on his fastball. That was a cutter that cut to the middle of the plate at 88 miles an hour. Just 8 miles an hour off his fastball. Then he'll back it up even more and throw the curveball, or I should say hard slider. That long arm action with the B-high leg kick on a guy 6'5", boy, it's difficult to track the baseball.
Foul ball.
I mean, it's a good thing. You know what? You could test him a little bit, but every now and then, Nolan, you put him in a spot, it's kind of tough to make a play.
That was just practice for him.
Nolan says he always loves finishing off those plays, even if he knows it's a foul ball. He just wants to see if he can get it over there.
And that was the great line Walt had a year ago when he was asked, it was by an out-of-town reporter on the road, about Arenado. He said, you see other guys make diving stops right and left. He said, but a lot of times you go, wow, what a play. He saved the double, but he doesn't get an out. He said Nolan finishes plays like that.
Well, the other thing that he does, and you can watch it, you can see it.
1-2, see you later. Blew him away at 97.
I think he feels just fine.
Oh, that's a sayonara baseball from Japanese style. I miss seeing that. That's a high fastball. You can't get on top of that.
No, you're not going to get on top of it. Protecting against the hard cutter or slider. Not able to catch up to that fastball.
One out, Gregor Blanco, 1 for 4, doubled and scored back in the 3rd inning. He tried to slap the ball. And, you know, if you ever watch the women's softball game, you'll see folks run out of the box and swing the bat at the same time. He did that to the left side against the shift, and Nolan made a fantastic play against him. Rockies don't completely shift now. And that's pulled down the line foul.
You know, I wonder if Aoki had anything to do with that, because, you know, you looked at Suzuki even when he was in Seattle, he had to have that swing at times. Running out of the box, slap the ball through the left side. I mean, Aoki comes over here for this ball club and kind of that same style of swing, which you obviously saw a lot while playing in Japan.
Yeah, and Ichiro is everywhere, and I think a lot of guys have copied that swing, and I don't know if it's just a Japanese style swing, if it's because they all want to be Ichiro, but a lot of them, even it isn't just Aoki that does that.
Well, I think part of it too, Spilly, it's all AstroTurf over there. They're able to slap it and hit the ground and take off running. Well, Ottavino ahead in the count here, 1-2, particularly on that hard slider, the last pitch. He's thrown 8 pitches so far. 6 of those have been strikes.
1-2 on Blanco.
Try to take a peek in here and see what he goes with. Hard slider he asked for. The hard slider he's going to try to accomplish here.
Line drive just over DJ's head. He may have jumped a smidgen early.
Ball was hit off the end of the bat. It was almost a changeup hit at DJ.
That'll bring up panic. Let's check our CenturyLink link to what's next. Pitching matchup tomorrow. The veteran Tim Hudson, more than 200 wins in a fabulous career. And it'll be start number 2 for Jorge De La Rosa. He just wants to push the delete button on his first start. That's tomorrow. We're on the air at 5:30 with the pregame show right here on Root Sports. So Panic, who's swinging the bat well, a single and a double tonight, also a line out to left. And this could do it. There's one, there's two, good night. Drive home safely. Ottavino with his 3rd save. And the Rockies now have won 5 straight against the San Francisco Giants. 4-0 this year against the defending world champs. They come from behind and win it 6-4. Blackman a home run tonight. Cargo a couple hits for the first time in several weeks. And Ottavino lights out in the 9th inning. Eddie Butler gets his 2nd victory of the year. Chris Heston suffers the loss. He is now 2-2. Rockies improved to 10-7. The Giants fall to 7-11. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. How about Rafi Noah? A pinch hit double in the 6th inning to give the Rockies an extra run. Everybody contributing this evening. That's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Rafael Noah. Good night all the way around for the Rockies as we take you to Jenny Cavnar and Jeff Hewson out in center field. Take it away, Jenny.
Thanks. Well, of course, I'll be on the show, too.
I guess I can go home.
No, you got to stay. You absolutely have to stay. Rockies win. They win big against the Giants. We'll have plenty of offense to talk about. If you like defense, we'll have that, too. It's all coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show.